tied up.
Oh! I scooted forward. And I took everything.
Whoops.
Okay, nothing died.
Okay.
Hey everybody! We're back with some Dungeons and Dragons. It's been a while, but yo, we're back!
Or are we streaming? Okay.
Oh!
It's already live!
It's happening!
It's already happened. It's me, Boom!
Everything happened.
This is Nita. There's Maya.
I'm back.
And we got Serrata with us, so that's everybody.
Yay!
Finally have everyone back.
So, we're gonna do a quick recap. Actually, you guys want to actually introduce yourselves? Again, and your characters, to kind of remind everybody. So,
I am Pahoki, druid of the swamp.
Yes.
so that's Nita. She is
the
playing
answer.
Pahoki, Druid of the Swamp.
Well,
Alright.
perfect. It's got her picture up right now.
Oh, cute!
Hey, yeah, look at that. And then,
Here you go, the story.
Torin.
Here's me. Oh, I am Torin, the Dragonborn Storm Sorcerer. That's me.
Yay!
Storm sorcery!
I am blue with bronze scales, and I've been adopting kobolds because I love kobolds.
Does kobolds.
Because kobolds.
Alright, and then, Serrata, I'm playing, Viksha. Well, she's a homebrew race called Kalia, but she's a tabaxi.
Yeah.
Bard. She has a fixation with oral history, so she likes stories, but currently she's just helping Torin adopt all of his kobolds.
Yay!
And again, I'm Boom, and I am the DM for this fun little something. We're playing games.
V did kind of adopt the weird kid from the last game.
Yeah, right?
She was just like, yep.
Guess we're taking
Alright,
that
I
one.
guess we're keeping this one. So I gotta do one quick
I'm
thing.
gonna
There we
need
go.
a last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Exactly. I was gonna, because you
been a
guys
while
kind
since
of
we
like,
played.
yeah, it's been a while.
Also,
hot
I was in
while.
Idaho last time we played, so I was Skyping, and it was a little awkward because I couldn't actually do the Skype call because it kept dropping out, so I had to watch the stream, so I was behind by like 10 seconds.
Oh.
That's why I was so behind. It's because I was watching the stream and
And
not
then
the actual
Maya was just here
chat.
on speakerphone on my cell phone, just right in front of the mic.
Good times.
What a goofing time.
If anybody wants to know why the timing was so off on that one, that was why.
So, let's give us a little recap. After wandering and exploring the deep depths of the deposed Temple of Asmodeus, you guys stumbled upon several weird foes, and gained a supposed ally in the form of a withered man named Finnegan, who then led you guys to the inner chambers where a large devil had been bound by a group of demonic gnolls. Led by Sanaz, you guys fought your way through the chamber, chased her down, and freed a young boy who was held captive there. That was Jaman. And then basically chased down Sanaz.
Well, I found out Finnegan was a...
Oh, that's right, yeah. So Finnegan turns out, was an illithid in disguise.
Greasy.
It was very, so slimy.
It was very gross.
Greasy.
And then you guys were chasing, basically you guys didn't chase after Sanaz, which eventually led to a choice to join the battle upstairs to help your kobold allies fight their kobold, the bad kobolds, basically, or chase Sanaz deeper into the dungeon, which eventually you guys chose Sanaz and chased the Null cultist into a ancient egg chamber where you guys discovered
The saddest dragon story.
yeah, a mutated, deformed dragon that had been exposed to some dark elements that altered its body in a sort of awful, decaying fashion.
The saddest dragon, maybe.
That was
then-
depressing.
Yeah. And then you guys didn't kill it. It was a boss fight, but instead you
still
guys
died
showed
anyway.
yeah, so showed mercy, tried to at least, but the thing, its body couldn't hold together and it melted into the ground and died in front of you all. But but you were able to capture
Died
Sanaz. Yeah.
So I'm trying to kill it quickly, we just let her die slowly. It's fine.
That's- I'm not laughing at it. It's sad.
I like how no matter how
Yeah.
hard we try not to be murder hobos, we still end up killing things.
We
we
still
don't
end up
want
being
to slay.
That's
We
the
just
life
let
of an adventurer, right?
You just let people die in their own
Yeah.
horrible ways instead.
So then,
I was gonna say we recovered the eggs.
yeah.
Eggs.
So you guys recovered 2 of the eggs.
Uh-huh.
Hold on. And that's
Yeah, cracker
when
snatch or something.
basically the black dragon in disguise, Vessus, arrived with the rest of the kobolds, having won the battle up on the surface. And now you guys are kind of in the aftermath of that. Vessis has gotten... She's commanded the kobolds to bring the eggs out of the chambers, and you guys are now kind of like at the stairwell in the basement area with the Jamon, who's still like tired. He's like lying on the ground still, like a bit, he's heaving a little bit. Vessis, still in her drow disguise, kind of turns to you and motions, saying that she'll speak with you more as you guys get out of this dingy dungeon, and then sort of slow you guys watch as the kobolds start to exit. Ka stays behind and standing with you. Guido kind of like seems confused on what's happening. He's kind of scratching his head like he doesn't quite understand what went down. And then the three of you standing facing each other, kind of like it's quiet right now, and all you hear is the heaving of the young little tiefling elf. For better
Do I
worse.
still have Sanaz?
Oh, Sanaz was taken by some of Skillick's guards.
Oh, okay.
So they have her bound. They have her
initially.
bound. Now.
Okay.
And they're dragging her upstairs. She they've closed her mouth, but you can still hear like the snickering kind of escaping just the sides of her lips and stuff.
Never stop laughing.
Never stop laughing. Yes. So as the voices fade out, again the silence kind of returns.
Oh, we're not going with them. We're just. I'm
gonna give you guys kind of the choice because our Hagamar is still active in the chamber. Jamon is now sitting here breathing heavily. Ka doesn't really know what to do. He's sort of like he's kind of pointing at Jamon. He's like, "Do we leave him?"
Jamon?
Jamon, yeah, the young
the kid,
tiefling elf
kid.
Yeah.
V's gonna go over and try and talk to him.
All right.
She's gonna see if he's all right.
Yeah. So since you guys have had time to breathe and walk and slowly, as you approach, you get a better look at Jamon, and he's not obscured by blasts of arcane fire bouncing all over the place. But as you approach, you see that he has mostly elvish features, except for like his eyes in particular. He has like the kind of like goat iris things, but you can't see him right now, so it's closed. But you don't know, he's kind of got like a sort of like natural cat eye. Some of his skull features are kind of like pulled back, a little more tiefling there. But you note that he's got soft like brown hair that like you inadvertently kind of like touch it a little bit. And it's got that kind of smooth elvish like hair, but then protruding from his head are like his little curved like horns. They look like. It looks like he's been trying to hide the horns under his hair, like he kind of grows it out a little bit more. But I mean, they're pretty sizable.
So you're saying he has anime hair?
Yeah, he's very anime. He's also got he's got soft elvish features, but like kind of on the edge of that, like are those tiefling features that kind of come out. Like his fingers are all clawed, and he's got really long nails. You note that you didn't notice this before, but he wasn't wearing shoes, and you see kind of like his clawed feet, and bundled onto his side, not like out of his pants. You kind of catch like a little tail, kind of slurping about.
He's got a little tail hiding under his shirt.
Yeah, he's got a short little stubby tail.
That's
but
cute.
So he's just kind of lying there.
So he's still passed
Yeah,
out.
he seems actually, if anything, he seems almost more tired. You see the beads of sweat kind of dribbling down his face. And he's not saying anything, but you kind of see his lips sort of like mouthing little bits here and there. He's probably like dreaming or something. Is anything?
What's his feet situation?
Okay, you as a traveler who also does not wear shoes much, you note that his
None of us wear
actually,
shoes.
yeah, yes, that's true. Never mind, all of you are shoeless.
We all have peds of some sort or
We all
another.
have feet.
I have little goat toes.
Okay, so you're a traveling like druid. You spend a lot of your times, and your like species naturally just wants to wander. Lock it on the right. The right has a lock thing. You note that his feet have a lot of calluses, like fresh calluses on it. Like it looks as though, like just looking at his muscle structure, he's not a fit person, but it looks like he has walked a great distance on his feet, and very recently walked a great distance.
What kind of feet does he have?
He's got little so they're kind of Wait, where are we going with this?
I don't know, but Pokey needs to know.
We don't.
Okay, yeah, he's got like elvish feet, but again, like the nails kind of curve out and sort of like give hints to his like fiendish.
It's like Inuyasha's
heritage.
feet.
Yeah, a little bit. Like it's
Feet
also got
with
tufts of
claw.
fur. Yeah, it's got like the little tufts of fur like on it, which are actually common among elves, like wood elves, for
Okay.
instance. Like,
He's got hobbit feet.
he's got little hobbit feet.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Hoki's familiar with this.
All right.
Humans.
Well, Wapahoki is investigating his feet thoroughly.
Yeah.
He's gonna try and shake him awake.
Oh, okay. You approach. So Poki's like down there, squatting, staring at his feet. You kind of go up. You sort of shake him, and he's very warm to the touch.
Ooh, that's
But then he kind of his eyes sort of snap awake, and he kind of looks around, and he almost like in a quick panic, but then realizes who you are, and kind of calms down a little bit, and you note that his temperature like subsides to a more normal degree just immediately. But he kind of goes, thank you so much again. I apologize. After you went off into the tunnel, I felt like my mind had been shattered. Kind of shakes his head and says, "Were there a bunch of kobolds here just a moment ago? Was that just part of my hallucinations?"
Oh no, yeah, they're always here.
There's an entire tribe upstairs, so you didn't imagine that. And is Ka not standing next to me?
Yeah, Ka is, but like,
because Ka's still here, right?
okay, yeah, Ka's kind of like keeping a cautious distance to him. Yeah.
okay.
Because he was like, I don't know, that's like a big person. I don't trust him.
He kind of like uses his claws to kind of like pull himself up from the stone wall that he's been leaning against. He says, our Hagamore, we need to take care of him before he gets any bright ideas.
Okay, now when you say take care of, what do you mean? Because
He
I heard something about a deal while we were in there.
he kind of nods a little bit and kind of like sort of thinks for a moment and like sort of reaches for one of his like pouches, kind of pulls it open and pulls out like a little leather like bound a little booklet, a little journal of sorts. He kind of cracks it open and says, I'm not too sure myself. I don't have very good memory of it, but my mother,
Granddad made the deal.
yeah, my grandfather made a deal for the soul of my mother, but she was pregnant with me during that time, and things altered, and I became the sacrifice for the deal, the cost of it. It was to help bind the devil Arhagamore here, because my grandfather, he kind of hesitates to say grandfather, and then sort of spits out Jason Solomore needed to bind a devil for some sort of strange rituals, and I've come to investigate such things.
Is it kind of the tone of like that asshole type way?
Yeah. He doesn't seem to be very happy about
He's
this.
not fond of Granddad.
Yeah.
So, our Hamgamore is like your uncle?
He the tiefling elf kind of looks at you for a moment, and you saw his face cracks into a smile, and he begins to kind of laugh, and you kind of see his like kind of spiky teeth, like very very spiky, like very much like
Fangy.
devil's fangy teeth, and he has a long tongue, but he's kind of just laughing. He says, oh, thank you. I kind of pats you gently and says, thank you. It's been a long time since I've been allowed to laugh, but no, our Hagamore is. He kind of leans back against the wall for a second and says, I guess he is kind of like my uncle.
I understand this. I've got a weird uncle, too. Couple. Lots.
Oh, yes.
I go back to poking his feet.
He kind of looks up, and you notice that as he's standing, he's got very good posture. He's like standing very straight up, and shoulders like.
So is he standing now, or is he?
Yeah, he's like standing fully, and even though you can see he's like kind of like exhausted, he's like a little bit heavy breathed. He's still like very much like good posture, gut in, chest out, like very standing, very proper. His clothes, however, look like just general traveler's clothes. If anything, they're a little bit oversized for him. It's you kind of suspect he probably stole them to escape, but he still stands with good posture. And he says, yes. So, to put it plainly, our Hagamore's soul is bound to mine, And so the death of the devil is not so simple. We need to break him of the original bindings so that I can free myself and try to find my mother.
Okay. Isn't breaking his bindings a bad thing, though? Because he's on our plane, and we can't really send him back unless we chuck the stones through, which he didn't seem fond of. Because there's that portal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You throw rocks through. He will.
But if we throw it through, then he's still bound, and you're still screwed.
Jamon kind of like nods, and like his eyes kind of widen a little bit. And says, "Yes, I hadn't really thought about the technicalities of the deal. I just had hoped to free my soul, and was told that."
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You happen to be experts on devil deals?
Ew.
Nope, not me. Too much soda, though.
Honestly, this is the first time I've ever seen one.
Kind of, you see that he's like, his expression kind of sours a little bit, but then he kind of picks himself up and kind of tries to smile again.
What kind of lore about demons do I know? Do I know anything useful?
Since you know more about demons, your lore on devils is probably not as good. You can still make a knowledge check. I'll let you make a knowledge religion check in this case.
Okay, so that's a 20.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Okay. I'm pulling up the correct part of this. I'm figuring out how to use this website. It's finally fucking... Okay, so you said knowledge, religion check?
Yeah, it'll be just like a religion check. Or just a knowledge arcana check. I'll give you either.
Wow.
Since you have some familiarity with the other side of the abyssal, the fiendish coin.
Okay, well, religion and arcana are the same modifier for me. So, well, like, I mean, it's the same number.
Yeah.
Thanks. Dice.
Dice. We got a...
3.
3.
So that's a 9.
Okay, you kind of skim through your knowledge, and the only thing you know is the fundamental differences between demons and devils, but the intricacies of diabolical law, which goes into their pact making, is so complicated that it kind of like, for a moment, you're kind of just lost. It's
You're just
it's
like, oh.
Your brain's like in the wiki hole, but it's not pulling up any relevant information.
You're just like,
you're just...
oh.
So for a moment, everyone, like,
guess-
Viksha just kind of stops and
It's just kind of blue screens for a minute.
Well, I guess it's kind of a long shot, but would I have heard anything from having studied with the elves for a little while?
I'll let you make a Arcana check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Yeah. Elves are pretty proud, and they don't like making those kind of deals, especially openly in front of other people.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Hang on.
Well, I rolled one better than V did.
You got 4?
What's your modifier?
For Arcana,
Yeah.
5. So I also got a 9.
Okay. You kind of like, skim your thoughts for a moment, and then you're like...
And then he BSODs too.
It's sort of a different context. For you, it's, boy, Professor Farrowfeather was such an asshole.
Man, I hated that guy.
When V's just sitting there like... there's always a loophole, but...
We could talk to him. He seemed pretty reasonable, right?
Well...
Guido kind of chimes up a little bit, says, Guido know one thing, huh? Don't make those deals.
You're not...
Guido.
Guido, would you happen to know anything about getting out of a deal that's already been made?
Guido,
That's kind of the problem.
Yeah, Guido kind of... Let me borrow a d20. I didn't bring my dice out correctly.
Oh, that's not my 20.
Oh, yeah.
That's my 20.
Let me borrow a d20.
Here.
Oh, yeah, I'll just use yours. Okay. Guido's like, no, Guido doesn't... big devil deals are big, but devils, they like souls, yeah? Maybe you give enough souls, devil like, no deal. Or deal off, yeah? Or deal fulfill.
Well, I feel like that's probably a logical way to go with that.
I feel like that's worse.
That's definitely not the direction we want to go with that, but I don't think you're wrong.
There's a lot of kobolds upstairs, not a lot of souls.
No.
I just see like
You see Kong kind of like slowly turn to
I would say that would definitely make a little bit of a little electricity kind of flare up around Torrent's
like
head.
He's gonna just kind of grab Guido and just make eye contact. Just
when they're not looking, yeah.
You do realize he could hear you.
When they can't hear ya.
You don't know.
Anyway, Jamon!
Jamon kind of like looks up. He sort of is chuckling a little bit. Says, "Very energetic group."
I'm just gonna say the frills on the back of Torrent's head have
Yeah,
started
just like-
standing up a little bit. He's not happy with Guido right now.
Yes.
But I'm trying to ignore him because that seems to be the best method so far.
Yeah.
All right. So, I was gonna.
He-
No.
Did you have questions for him?
Yeah, because I was thinking, because the deal with because what was the deal with the kid was his soul for the demons, and so releasing the demon isn't what's going to.
That's not gonna do it, is it?
So I'm gonna let you guys. So, you kind of your character kind of mumbles it out loud, and everyone kind of like chimes in, resonates as. Our Hagamore, or the deal was for the devil, so the devil may not have made the deal.
Yeah.
Like, so our Hagamore may not have actually made the deal himself.
Oh, the deal was
For the devils, yeah. So as you say that out loud, Jamon kind of says the deal was for the devil. He kind of looks at all of you, kind of turns up.
So, if we do manage to get the demon back to the other dimension, would that break it? Because the demon's no longer here, or devil, sorry. That's gonna take me forever to remember.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like a weird technicality.
I like it. It's
Jamon
funny.
kind of like scratches his beard a little bit and goes, I hadn't thought about that. I had always assumed that our Hagamore had made the deal. But if the deal is for the devil, then
If
we
the deal
could
was to bring the devil
theoretically-
here, and the devil was no longer here,
Then
then the deal would be voided, right? Maybe.
I think so. Devil deals, that's how they work, right?
Well,
I don't know. I've never made
You guys
one.
can make one more Arcana check.
Do I have to roll at disadvantage again?
Yeah, everyone roll a disadvantage because you guys have no clue.
Here, I'll roll, but it's gonna be dumb because
That's a 7 and a 4, so
okay. So my
that's
lower
9 again.
So for me, the lower roll
Don't
is
worry.
going to be 17. 17 for
17 for you? Okay. You got a natural 1. You're pretty sure that's how all deals work. Push the other person into the portal, and the deal's off.
I'm gonna say Tora just kind of blue
Technically-
screens again, going, God damn it, what did that asshole at the Academy say?
me.
Yeah.
You're like, God,
I couldn't hear over stupid eyebrows.
You remember at one point he kept using you to like zap with his like minor cantrips to show up to the others. Yeah.
God, I hate that guy.
You for a moment you think about it, you're like, it could be, but that's assuming the deal was for the devil.
Mm-hmm.
So if it is, then potentially that could work. However, it depends on how the payment process works. Like,
Yeah.
was it an exchange? Like, you're not sure about that part. You're not
Yeah.
sure what the exchange was. You just know that their souls are bound. So it could potentially break the pact.
Wait.
But you're also not sure what breaking a pact does.
Your chair scares me.
It's a gamer chair. It's strapped up for action.
All right.
Well,
best.
wait though, because if the deal was for some sort of soul to be sacrificed to bring the demon here, wouldn't his soul already be gone? Sorry, I should probably use words.
Yeah,
We're gonna.
he is here. Jamon still seems to be alive. He seems healthy.
Because Jamon seems here and intact, and if the deal was for a soul to be sacrificed to
and-
bring the demon here,
Or it could be
Devil.
to bind. Yeah, you're not sure. Yeah.
Because binding. Well, and then there's also
be to
the.
find it. But then why is his soul still intact? Is more my
Well,
question.
Let me see. I poke his feet.
Make
Your
a wisdom
soul still
check.
in there?
Make a wisdom check. I'll let you
Just
do
for the
that.
hell of it.
Why not?
And my thought is, well, and then there's also the
18 and then my
nature,
wisdom is-
the nature of the existence of tieflings at all.
Tieflings are like a natural thing. They're not necessarily bound to heaven or hell. They're just lineage. So
Oh,
it's
but
like
well, no,
blood.
that's just the thing. It's like, well, because the daughter, it was like,
You're actually confident he has his soul in there.
Poke, 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 poke.
Sorry, what was your question?
Okay, so tieflings, the connection that they have to like devils in terms of like being related to them is like a super distant past thing.
Yeah, it's typically just lineage, like a drop of blood here and there.
Okay,
But
okay.
there's also
Like an
tieflings
ancient
that come
ancestry.
from there's a lot of lore. But if someone gets transformed into a tiefling, that's different from someone being born a tiefling.
Okay.
So
Man, I think we should go ask your uncle, because, like, this is weird. I'm pretty sure you have a soul, and if it was sacrificed or whatever, it's still there.
Well-
Poke, poke.
Did our Agamar know any?
Well, he did seem to know quite a bit. It's just a matter of whether or not
He
he's
seemed
going to be
reluctant to
willing.
tell us, though.
Well, he wants to be freed.
But we have his nephew.
I don't know if they're particularly close, Pahokee.
yeah, Jamon laughs again.
Although, I mean, you're not wrong.
He kind of like wipes away a little tear. I don't speak with. Yeah, just like an actual uncle. Damn. Kind of stops for a second.
He's your weird, estranged uncle.
I was like,
Can I ask? Were you born with the?
He kind of
Horns?
nods. Yeah. That mother had. Whoa.
Hello, kitty.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. My mother had a string of many lovers, but I suspect said that my father was most likely one of her tiefling friends. Her tiefling companions.
It's not his uncle.
Pokey whispers.
Oh god. Okay.
He kind of ponders for a moment. It's like, I don't suppose it would hurt to ask our Hagamore. Or we could just leave him in the chamber for now.
well, we could ask him at the very least. We could use his freedom as a bargaining chip, but
I mean, we gotta go back that way anyway, right?
Oh, no.
Do
There's
not.
like literally a
not
stairwell that goes
necessarily.
out.
But I'm a little worried about the fact that we did weaken the binding a bit while we were in there.
well, and while I don't necessarily trust demons or like the particular devils,
We're gonna be doing that all day.
No.
Particularly
Hey,
great-
okay, I was dealing with the riddle demon.
yeah, I was gonna be like,
Devil.
like I don't particularly trust him, but I also really I have a great distaste for the situation that this devil's been put in. The binding and use of any creature as a slave is just. I don't agree. So I do think we should try and find a way to sever this link so they can both go about their lives normally. Also, Guido.
Huh?
I
Guido
know-
kind of like chimes in again, like he's clearly not paying attention.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like hanging out, waiting for his name to be heard.
So this bounty that doesn't exist.
Oh yeah. Ugh. Pulls out a scroll.
Don't burn it. Give it here.
Starts to like smoke a little bit.
No.
Man, put it down. Hands it over. Says, but we no splitsies. Guido works alone.
Why do you
Fair
have so
enough.
many copies of the same scroll?
It's the same scroll every time. He pulls it out and it's not. It's away. It's not in your hand.
That's a neat trick.
Yeah, very important for big
Is it
hellbound
the-
bounties. Yeah,
Is it the scroll or like the pocket you pull it out of?
it's scroll.
Sorry, Torin's being completely derailed
Yeah.
by this.
V's just going to snatch
Sure.
that one again.
Just take my bounty.
I promise to give it back.
You got to, huh? He kind of points at his head.
You're a great fire mage, that's correct, yes. Alright. And I'm going to open it up. Can I read this bounty?
Yeah, the bounty. As you like unravel the scroll, it prints out in ruby letters as it slowly singes the like the painting of the bounty on it. And sure enough, it is a pretty much a 1-to-1 depiction of the child's head. And it just says, for safe return, like 5,000 gold.
For safe return. Doesn't say safe return where?
It doesn't.
It just says for safe return, this
Yeah.
kid, 5,000.
Yeah.
Alright, well that's got a disturbing lack of information.
You
I'm
see
pretty
Jamon
sure.
kind of like poking over. He kind of cuts through the crowd, sort of uncharacteristically, like.
He's looking over my shoulder.
Yeah. He says, what? He kind of looks over at Guido. Guido kind of smiles weakly, gives him like kind of a thumbs up, and he says, "You see Jamon reach for his knife. He pulls it out.
No,
It says,
he's more or less with us for the time being.
Guido no collect bounty until you let me collect you, huh?
Also, Jamon, I do have a question. Would you happen to know who would put a bounty out for you?
And where?
I've
doesn't say
seen
on the
these.
scroll.
These are hellbound bounties. There's only one place here.
Hellbound bounties?
Hellbound bounties. There's only one
Okay.
place here, and that is in the nation of Velmoth, where I'm staying.
There's a little hesitation there.
And they want you brought back there?
I-
Or-
Jamon kind of lowers the knife slowly and says, I may have escaped captivity in my house.
What'd you do?
Your house? Are you on the run from your family?
You hear Guido kind of pipe up. A little kid ran away from home, and so they put big bounty on his head. Get all Cabal members, find him.
How old are you, mister?
19?
Where is your mother?
Oh, so he's not
I
that
don't
much younger
know.
than
That's
us.
what I'm trying to find out.
This kid's 19,
Sir?
so he's not much younger than us. Alright. I just like that. Kid, he's 19. I'm like, oh, he's not actually that much younger than our characters. Because, how old is Torin? 16?
Technically.
Yeah.
And V's in her early 20s.
He's actually older than me, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a young teen.
But, well, late teen.
A late teen, yeah.
Young adult, but I was like, oh, okay, but I just like that kid. I'm like, oh no, this kid's like,
Yeah.
all right. Anyway, but yeah. So,
You hear him kind of like sort of chattering with Pahok. He's like, "That's the whole reason I'm here. I'm trying to find my mother."
Yeah, well, you better. They're looking for you, and you need to go home.
V's going to
He seems
roll the
confused.
scroll back up and give it back to
No,
Guido.
no. My mother was missing because of the ritual. I came here to my childhood home to try to find out what happened to her.
That's no excuse, mister.
Pokey.
He kind of slumps back and says, "This is what it's like to have family, isn't it? It's a terrible pain."
All right,
I mean-
Jumon. So you said your mother disappeared during the ritual. Now,
Torin's kind of
Yes.
thinking of his own siblings.
She-
Yeah.
you mentioned that this deal was made before you were born. So, how old were you when this ritual took place?
My mother's, according to her journals, she was pregnant with me when the deal was done. Jason did not realize that his daughter was pregnant with a child, and instead of selling his daughter's soul, he sold mine. And then they traded it for our Hagamores. And so the two of us are bound, but it was an exchange.
So she's
Exchange with who?
Well, it's an exchange. The demon's here. Where's Mom? He and Mom swap spots.
I guess that's a possibility. Oh, but he said that the deal didn't take to his mom, it took to him.
It took his soul.
How do you know that?
It's what my grandfather's writings detail. He kind of fumbles through his bag again and pulls out like another journal, and this is like the journal of Jason Salamor. Jason was a researcher of sorts. He worked for some sort of cabal of knights, but they believed in some sort of new foe, an enemy that would appear invisible to the eye. And so, in, I suppose, a cruel fashion, he fashioned some sort of deal with devils and scoured for the aid of one in particular that he could question. That was the exchange made for my soul since I was born, I suppose.
Well, I think one thing is clear is I don't think your mom is here.
He kind of he nods. and
That's
says,
pretty much the
"Yeah."
only thing that's clear to me right now.
Well, I suppose we could try and give Hagamore a try here and see if there's any information, because, again, he would very much like to be free.
My only concern is that freeing him, we can't seem to, there's a word I'm looking for, it's out of my brain. How to speak common.
How to speak common.
We can't seem to, secure a promise that he's not going to stay here without making another deal.
That's true.
No guarantees.
But I
He
think we
seems
can.
so reasonable, though.
But he also shoots fire out of his hands and, like, has laser eyes, and I
Yeah,
don't really
well,
want to fight a demon right now.
And I go,
We do have the command
Devil.
stones,
I was
though.
like- it's
We
like-
can prevent him from lashing out at us in the meantime while we question him.
Pahokee can have the hand back so she can keep slapping him in the face.
Yeah.
Well, except you didn't particularly enjoy having that stuck to your hand, though.
Oh, that's true.
did we
That
get that
was
off? I
the
don't
worst
remember.
thing
It just
ever.
fell off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It just came.
up.
It just popped up.
So I couldn't actually remember how we got rid of it. It was like, I remember it
Yeah.
being on your hand and then being off your hand.
It was terrible.
Well,
I don't want to think about it again. Somebody else can do the slapping.
That's fair.
What are you doing?
Sorry, we're being distracted by the
The
cat.
all of the animals are out right now. Well, 2 of them.
So, do you guys want to go talk to our Hagamore?
I'm down for it.
I would like to talk to our Hagamore.
Alright.
I am
Not
a little
already.
less confident that it's actually going to yield any results, but I am willing to go talk to him to see if he knows any more information.
Alright.
Why
Then we're in agreement then. He kind of stands up, straight and kind of leads you all. Like, he kind of goes forward and goes through the little alcove that leads up to the the portal room.
While we're walking, I guess I would ask, Mom, why does your family want you back so badly?
He kind of stops for a second, like just as you guys are about to turn the corner. He says, "They're not my family per se. The Solomore family line, as far as I can tell, ends with me, and I'm hoping that my mother is out there somewhere. But I am the last known Solomore. I was taken by another house as a ward, but more prisoner, if anything.
Well, yes, some wealthy families in my homeland do something similar. A sort of hostage exchange of children between noble families to prevent them from warring with each other. It's the Rakshasas. They've got a lot of interesting practices. Anyway, but that's
heard of this.
yes, that's something I've heard of. I'm not intimately familiar with the contracts.
I pat the kid. Arranged marriages are tough.
It's more like an arranged adoption, but yes."
And how...
Well, who did they trade you for? Or did they?
They just took the last Solomore.
Oh, okay.
That's
so this
kind of all he says. He kind of straightens up again, kind of like goes forward.
and your family got
Can I
nothing
ask
from this
how are
arrangement.
your, he's the only one of his family.
No, that's true. Oh yeah,
So-
because Pops is unknown. Mom's
Grandfather's
missing.
dead, dad isn't known, and mom is missing. So,
Okay, that's true.
so his family got nothing for this exchange.
Yeah. Gotcha. they were just like, kid.
We'll take the kid.
Basically.
All right.
Can I ask what are your... Trying to find a decent way of asking what his living conditions were like with this other family.
Kind of turns and says, "It's quite well. I am provided anything I ask for. I'm just not allowed to leave the city."
So
It's-
you really only escaped because you want to find your mother.
He kind of nods. And I hope that I get any clues.
Well, let's just go ask the demony guy.
The
Okay.
devil- Yep. All right.
Doubly guy,
Sure.
whatever.
You guys
Fire.
turn the corner, and as you do so, you see the large portal, like the little dais that's like raised and everything like that. Several of the pillars are left in shambles as you guys were. You guys destroyed like the left side, like parts of the left side. Two of them, yeah. But you see the devil, and he's kind of standing, but he's like his hands are a little bit like kind of outward. Like you see that he's also kind of like like maybe he's standing on his toes a little bit.
Oh no,
the portal is.
Jumon has the stones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot. I put them on the ground and then he scooped them up.
Jimon pulls out the stones, and as he pulls them out, you see he's holding the chest stone, and the other stones are flying, like levitating around it. And he kind of holds it out as if he kind of knows how to operate this device. He says, "Arhagamore, your master requires answers to questions." He kind of looks around and nods,
Yep.
and says, "Arhagamore, turn!" And you see Arhagamore just standing there, kind of like, almost like floating. Arhagamore, turn!
Uh-oh.
Kind of looks down at the stones. The stones are spinning around, but you note that as he like spins it around, the crimson glow that it has is no longer there. It's just kind of like stones flying around and other stones. Stones aren't commanding him. Arhagamore!
Our buddy.
He wasn't floating before either.
That can't be good,
This
right?
doesn't... No. No.
Now, as you approach the kind of like where the raised steps are, you note that you step into.
Oh, I'm not getting any closer.
Okay. Well, you see the Jaman kind of like walks
Okay,
forward.
I was
And,
like-
it's on stone, like work stone, and then you hear the little damp kind of like wetness as he steps forward, and you all hear like kind of like he's like walking through like slush.
And I
This-
look at the
our
floor
Hagamore,
and
you-
see if there's blood.
You see the floor, and it's not blood, but it is a strange grease. There
Ooh,
is
that's
slime
still not better.
No more
everywhere.
greasiness.
all
Oh no!
over
Is he not
things.
fucking dead?
And, like, so you see, like, so he's Jamon is like maybe 20 feet in front of you. He's turning the corner, and you see his
Wait,
expression.
Jamon, wait.
He says, "Oh, Hagamore!" And then like suddenly the devil's head twists like all the way around, and on its face is the like a strange octopus-like creature just latch on, and you see its fangs and spines struck deep into the devil's face, and you see the color, like the very essence of it, being drained away into this like creature.
He's gonna
Which-
run up and just drag the kid back.
So yeah, you run up, grab the kid. As you like touch the slime, you kind of slide for a moment, but you kind of catch yourself and you kind of grab the kid, and you see like the head kind of like trying to look, but you don't like it's not. It doesn't seemingly see you, but suddenly the voice, kind of a voice, echoes in your mind.
Oh, great.
Oh, glad you could all arrive in such timely fashions.
Finnegan! Or whatever the fuck his name was! What was his name?
Finnegan.
You...
Finnegan! Not my actual name, just the catalyst I borrowed for this time.
It's your name and you know it, nerd.
No, it's not. It's not my name.
Why you keep
my
the
name?
voice then? Huh?
It's how I communicate in your plane.
Yeah, sure.
You should all learn to the
She's just dragging the kid, swearing.
Yeah, so you kind of slide it back.
Just
Do you want to do something?
I'm basically doing this and just spark bolts right at him.
Zap right into him. Go on, roll for
I
damage.
don't like this thing!
Yeah, I'll let you. Yeah, you just hit.
I just hit? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I thought it was... fuck, what is my damage for that?
Because he's like stationary. I'm gonna say he's stationary. Right
Okay.
now. Just the head is spinning around.
Let
like
me
the
double
fucking
check.
exorcist.
Yeah, right.
I didn't have my spells pulled up because I was expecting a freaking... okay, do D10s or these ones?
Yep.
Okay.
You do 2d10 now.
8.
All right. You conjure like a pretty good bolt of like I hate saying that, bolt of lightning when there's a lightning bolt spell. It dashes forward.
It's a little just arc of lightning.
Yeah, a little arc of lightning.
Yeah.
It splashes into the devil and seems to like electrify his body, and you see his body like react to it, but the head stays stationary.
So it didn't affect the head?
Yeah.
That seems
It
backwards.
seems to, yeah, it's not affecting the head. Yeah, not affecting the head.
The octopus.
yeah.
The
The-
face hugger.
The creature then, like, you see two of the tendrils from the back of the head kind of like...
Well, I mean, I was
like-
aiming for his face. I wasn't
Oh!
aiming for the body. Because if he turns a head and there's an octopus right there, I'm aiming for
I'm
the
gonna
octopus.
say the lightning arced upward, struck it, but only like you only see the sparks hit the body, the devil's
damn
body.
it, okay.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Jiggle, 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 jiggle.
Just, don't worry, I'm almost done with this one. He doesn't seem to have as much as I thought he would have available.
Give us our Hagar back. He's a good boy.
You can have this one then. You see the tendrils like release itself and kind of like float up, and sure enough, it's that illithid head kind of like floating a little bit, and then it kind of like in a motion of like pure speed, it just flies into the portal, and the portal sort of cracks, like the swirling portal like visually cracks, and then falls into shattering glass
Uh-oh.
in front of you.
Not
the
like
the
that.
devil like kind of flumps back and is kind of just it seems dead, but you're not sure what a dead devil looks like.
Well, I mean, his head did do a
And-
360.
Yeah, and also you note that his head is like kind of spun out. Like
Oh.
the meat is barely keeping like the head attached, as you see like rips coming out and like sort of bits of its skeleton, like of its spine, kind of like jutting outward.
Oh, no.
So, that seems bad.
How's the kid doing?
The kid, you see that he's like he seems like he's in a lot of pain. He's like, he's not dead yet. He's not dead. ugh, and the kid kind of like falls over and passes out.
The demon's not
The devil.
devil's
Yeah,
not
he
dead?
seems to be pointing to the devil. He's not-
Okay. Well, if the devil dies, the kid
Souls are
dies.
definitely connected. We need to do something.
Do we want to try breaking the bindings while the devil's
Knocked out.
incapacitated?
I don't know.
To see if that breaks the contract?
Alright. Okay.
Okay, I'm
I'm
gonna
down
aim at the
for
nearest
it.
pillar and just shoot
you guys
lightning
can-
at it.
Do you just want to do that? You guys,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you guys just go through. I'm just gonna kind of like speed this up a little bit. You
Parkour.
guys basically destroy the remaining pillars. You push a bunch over. You shoot lightning. All of you work together, and in about 10 minutes or so, maybe like 5 or so minutes,
is
like
probably a
you
bad idea.
frantically break the bonds, and every pillar you shatter, you see like the arcane bonds around the parts of the body, the relevant parts of the body, kind of weaken until finally they're all shattered. Around the neck, as the neck part shatters, you see the head flip off and then kind of splot onto the ground. The devil's body begins to kind of like sizzle, and you feel an intense heat, and suddenly that like part of his his normal corpse just lights up in fire,
Whoa!
and then becomes dust. And then but the skull, this flesh just sort of melts off, leaving a pristine devil skull in its stay. Jamon is still alive, and he seems fine. In fact, his breathing is calmed a little bit. You also
Jamon, how you feeling, buddy?
kind of like looks up and says, "What? Where's our Hagamore?" He kind of tries to push past you guys.
I'm gonna point at the
He's
skull.
gonna just
Sorry
pick it
about-
up.
Your uncle, buddy.
He's like,
That's all that's left. Then we'll never know what
Wait,
happens.
I
to
don't
my...
know if you should touch it.
No,
he's just gonna pick it up, hold it higher, just
Yeah.
like,
Can
he seems
God.
really. He seems lost now. He's like, that was the only one left. He was gonna give us answers. Any of them. He kind of slumps back a little bit and kind of like just lies on the ground and kind of just face up. I have to start over now.
Jamon, I'm sorry about you having to start at square one, but it was either that or watch you both expire.
He nods. He says, yes,
Unfortunately, we don't
yes.
have enough healing abilities between all of us to probably have fixed a 360 head twist.
He's like still, you see his eyes like still kind of processing everything. He says, no. You're right. I should be glad that I merely get to walk away from this.
Is there any kind of energy coming from that skull?
You feel a faintness to the skull. Like there's a faint power in it.
What does Pahokee smell?
Okay.
because V's holding
Make a
it.
nature check.
I will make a nature
'Cause,
check.
I'm gonna pull the scroll of identify out of my bag.
Oh, you know what?
Ooh,
I actually
19.
have that as a
Okay.
spell.
Do you have it as
This
a
is
spell?
have
highly
it as a spell.
unnatural.
If you don't want to use a spell slot, I can use a
Let me
scroll.
see. Let me find
Typically
it.
speaking, when
Or maybe
an
I got rid of
extraplanar
it to
being
swap it
Wait.
for
dies in the main
Oh, you know, I have
material
detect
plane,
magic.
their body evaporates and they get reconstructed in their native plane.
So the skull still being here.
So the
is
skull
weird and
still being
gross.
here is a sign that
Okay.
the creature
So,
can
yeah,
still
go ahead and use
yeah.
the scroll because I have detect magic now.
I was gonna use my scroll of identify on the skull.
Oh yeah, you want to do that?
Yes.
All right.
So I don't have that anymore.
Yeah. And
I'm
V's
gonna let you
just
do this, but it's gonna be kind of weird.
Okay.
Okay. V's just holding it and letting
Yeah,
Torin.
don't mind holding it for 1 second. I'm
Just
gonna hold
plopping it.
the Scroll
Alright.
up.
By the way,
So-
is this thing hot? Like,
It's warm.
Okay.
It's warm, but it was also freshly used.
yeah. Okay. But it's not gooey,
Yeah.
right?
It did just light
Yeah.
up, so it's
Okay. Anyway, V's just holding it.
All right. So the way kind of identify works is it almost like inceptions information into your mind.
right.
So as you kind of like cast it, initially the spell seems to wander a little bit. It's a little bit lost. This is a unique kind of item, but it's not so unique that it doesn't quite have a name. You identify this as a talking devil's skull.
Skull, okay.
And
Maybe
that
it's okay.
and that it can sometimes be used to communicate with particular devils.
Oh.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, I think I understand where the contract is.
So, the unfortunately, using it requires some sort of ritual that you're not sure about, and that the identify spell isn't familiar with
It
either.
can't give me the
It can't give me
ritual
the-
information
Yeah,
because that's not
but
what I'm looking
but
at.
it does let you know that you can communicate
use
with
a
it
ritual.
via arcane rituals.
Okay.
Okay. How big is this skull, by the way?
It's probably about I was thinking
I just kind of figured his head was like...
yeah, because I was thinking, well, I think his head's a little bit bigger.
A little bigger?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe a small, what they call them.
He's just like...
Yeah, it's just it's a huge skull.
Okay, because the thing is, because I'm like,
It's probably the size of a young bison skull.
okay.
Yeah.
So he's
Yeah.
he's a little bit big, a little bit
Yeah.
awkward to carry on your hip.
Yeah,
More
yeah,
like-
it'd be something you'd strap to you.
I'd probably
Yeah.
I'm gonna because he's gonna strap him to her
Oh,
backpack.
also the annoying part is that his
Well-
curved horns are kind of a little goofy and a little bit in the way.
Okay, to Jamon in Draconic.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if he knows Draconic.
Oh, the V's interest. She's still holding it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say so. How do you feel now that your uncle's dust? I guess I'm just trying to see if he knows Draconic.
He kind of shakes his head. Apologies, I don't speak that language.
I'm going to
Oh,
repeat the
sorry.
same thing she said. Torin says in Abyssal.
Okay. He responds in common
Okay.
to that. He says, "I don't. He wasn't actually my uncle, but he was a source of answers.
Yeah.
And if you're saying that we can communicate with the skull,
I didn't say anything
oh,
that
yeah,
out loud. No.
Yeah. So none of us know this except
Yeah.
for Torin.
No, I was going to
Because now
look
we.
at V then and ask in Draconic. That's why I was checking to see if he
Yeah,
knew
that's why I
Draconic.
was asking.
Yeah.
Now we know he
Okay.
understands Abyssal, but he doesn't speak it.
Because I'm not trying to be sneaky. I'm just I just wanted to discuss a thing before actually doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I can translate to Hoki when I'm done asking. But I was going to ask, well, he was saying that he has to start it. Wow! My own language and I can't think of words. Square one again. How do you feel about giving him the skull? It would give him a place to start to look for his mother.
Well, I don't know what the skull is. I'm still just holding it.
Oh, I'll explain to you in Draconic what the skull is.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I'm just gonna look down and be like, oh.
There's a possibility he could use it to try and find whatever devil made the contract, and he might be able to find his mother.
That's true. We could definitely give it to him. Yeah, we don't know what the ritual is.
I'm concerned about Firehead. I'm saying Firehead, so I don't say his name.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would sound the same in Draconic as common or not, but
Yeah, Firehead.
he is definitely going to try to take this kid back to wherever he was. And while it doesn't sound like it was a bad situation,
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Oh, you okay? They're holding a skull, speaking Draconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're
it's
just like
sorry, I'm going to...
we're making dragon noises at each other over a
I'm
skull.
really happy with the situation. Just
And
like,
V's just standing there, just holding this thing. Like she's got it by the horns. She's just like,
Yeah, you can hold it comfortably by the horns. If weirdly enough, it's
Well-
it's actually lighter than it seems.
Let's say we'll skin that Drake when we get into it. I'll switch back to common.
Actually, so
where is?
let's
Guido?
say about 5 minutes or so have passed. You feel, as you're holding it, you feel something strange with the skull, and it starts to kind of move a little bit, and then suddenly the skull begins to reform into a smaller version of itself that can fit
it's the
in
One
your
Ring.
palm. Yeah, it basically goes.
It's just like,
and yeah, so you guys are speaking, and then eventually it just goes whoop 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 whoop,
and V's just
and
sort
it's
of-
now a small portable version of the same
V's just
skull.
sort of looking at it. She goes, "Oh, it's cute.
You see the skull get smaller.
It's adorable.
"Oh,
It's so cute."
nothing about this is natural, and also it smells like it's still there.
So I'm going to switch back to common.
And she's just gonna sit there, just like,
And I'm going to explain to Digimon what the skull is.
and then she's gonna stop giggling and be like,
You mean we can still communicate with him then?
I don't know if it connects to our Hagamar. There's a chance it could instead lead to the devil who originally made the deal. The problem is it requires a ritual to use, and the spell doesn't give me the ritual. It just tells me what the skull is capable of. But it would give you a starting point.
He kind of steps back a little bit. Are you offering me the skull?
If you think it would help you find out what happened to your mother, I don't know why we would keep it.
We certainly don't need this. We certainly don't need this.
I don't have a lot of devils I need to talk to.
I've already got a lot of junk in my bag.
it is his uncle.
And it is your uncle.
You see Guido
Loki
come
has a
up and
point.
goes, "Yeah, I want family to stick together. Guido understands this."
V's gonna hold it out, just like
He
Dude,
he sort of
come on.
takes it and like looks at you, all very surprised. Is, "Oh, you've been so kind to me. I did not expect such things. And living in Velmoth is a very different experience than venturing outward."
well,
Clearly, none of us are from Velmoth.
Clearly.
He nods knowingly,
Clearly.
puts it in his satchel, and
Clearly.
says, he kind of like reaches down and then pulls out what kind of looks like a devil's tongue made of iron.
Ooh.
And he kind of like
That's cool.
takes off the necklace. It's a little trinket bound to like a chain necklace around him. He says, "Here, take this. It's an iron tongue. It'll allow us to communicate."
Oh,
That's handy.
that is neat.
How does that
It's-
work?
He opens his mouth, and then you have to like put the tongue in your mouth, like a little flute. So it's kind of like a.
So, do you have one?
He kind of nods. Yes, They use them for speaking with one another, but
Ew.
Wait, who's they? Who's they?
he kind of stutters for a second. My bodyguard, and I used to have it, but I didn't want him to get in trouble for my escape, and so I spirited away his, and now it's yours. And if you need of aid, I may be able to help, though I could only produce maybe some knowledges or some of the few items that I could ask for in Velma.
What is Guido doing right now?
Guido's picking his nose. He's kind of just sitting there. Yeah,
As
he's,
the kid's
yeah, he's
talking
got like
about
his pinky
leaving,
in his
he
nose.
doesn't look
He's
concerned?
like, "Oh, gross, man. Guido gotta take big bath."
Does he look like he's listening at all? Can I tell if he's listening at all?
It's one thing about Guido is it's hard to tell if he's paying attention, but
That's
he's
what I mean. Like,
yeah.
does it feel like it's
He's
a
a-
smoke screen, or because the kid is talking
Make
about
a-
leaving? Like his
yeah.
bounty is talking about leaving, and I'm a little.
Make a perception check.
Okay,
Let's have
perception.
you make a perception check.
Hang on.
That was not a good roll.
Okay.
I gotta get back to my skill spot.
I don't know if Bahoki would even be thinking about
Well,
that.
mine
You're
is
probably
a 9.
infatuated by the skull and the.
Honestly, I just think
It's really hard to tell. Like
I rolled.
it's really hard to tell. He's also been in the game for so long that you also just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. V's
You just don't know.
kind of enamored
I'm just
with her new
suspicious
neck.
of him in general, especially after he was talking about feeding kobold souls to the thing.
And V's very enamored with the tongue flute.
Yeah. So yes, just blow on it once, and then we'll have a connection for a set period of time. So basically, you can blow on the flute, and you guys have about 10 minutes per day to, or 10 minutes per week to communicate with each other. And it works between dimensions, but I don't know if that's going to be a.
Well, so
a thing.
basically it's
Yeah.
like ascending, except that it's not
Yeah.
going to use a spell slot.
No, yeah, and it's only for one person.
Yeah. All right. V's
And
going
once
to.
a week, basically.
Yeah, once a week.
But okay, V's gonna go ahead and just kind of flip the chain over her neck and stuff that down
Okay.
into her into
So-
her choli, so it's not like sticking out.
Yeah, so that is a, it's actually called a forked tongue, which is an iron bauble shaped like a devil's tongue. So it's a forked tongue.
Bahoki definitely super does not want to touch it.
Yeah, makes sense.
As it's being
kinda
passed
gross.
over, it kind of like floats over your head. You can identify that as cold iron.
Oh.
It is a material designed specifically to destroy fae,
Interesting.
demons, and devils. So it's one of those materials that's like it's effective against like those like extraplanar
But
beings.
it's also effective against the man.
Bahoki now feels somewhat neutral about this thing.
All right, yeah.
Just like,
So it is made of cold iron, if that is relevant.
Okay, made of cold iron.
it's called, sorry, a devil's tongue?
Forked tongue.
Forked
It's
tongue.
called a forked tongue.
Okay, and it allows 10 minutes of communication.
Once every 7 days after its use.
Okay.
So it might be slow going for. Actually, I might change that because I have an idea for something. Once every 3 days. Let's say once every 3 days.
Okay, so 10 minutes communication with Jumon per 3 days. Okay, I just put that in there.
Once
Okay.
every 3 days. Yeah.
So V's gonna just put it around her neck and
Yeah.
just kind of drop the pendant part into her her undertop, so it's not like out.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Because she's looking at it, she's like, this is very neat, but it clashes with my jewelry. So
Come
it's
on.
going where she can't see it.
Yeah.
So it's in the
So
titties.
yeah.
She's been like, and in the boobs.
You note that it's surprisingly chilly. Like it's a very cool piece of metal.
No, just
Yeah.
it's just a weird thing where all of her fur just kind of goes.
Jamon takes the skull very, very happily and kind of stands up straight and says, "Ooh, that's, I suppose, some good came of this then. Thank you so much.
I'm glad we could give you something to start with. I know it. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I just really do not want a demon skull hanging around.
That too.
Yes.
Also-
Then you shall not want to travel to Velmoth. It is a terrible place."
I get the feeling we're gonna end up there anyway.
You hear a little bit of skittering kind of behind you all, like, and you see Joxy and Boxy kind of like poke their heads down into the chamber, and they kind of go, "Dinner's ready." You see, Guido kind of like already turning around and going with them. Says,
Yeah.
"Guido gonna get whatever Kobold eats."
Okay.
Okay, and is
Jumon.
is Jumon looking like better? Like not looking so sick and tired?
Yeah, he's looking more confident. His body is still kind of like sickly. He's definitely not an athletic person,
Well,
and he's traveled a lot, so he's exhausted.
But
and,
he's not looking like he's got a fever or anything.
Yeah, no, he doesn't seem to have a fever. In fact, he seems seems pretty upbeat
Yeah.
and a little bit healthier. More of the colors kind of
Okay,
returning
so
to his skin.
so he's doing better.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, he also has like I forgot to mention, he's got kind of like sort of like a soft like red brown like tone to his skin.
Color is his hair.
Oh,
Brown.
his hair is like brown. Yeah.
I didn't catch that part.
He's got
My
big brown hair to
goodness,
try
kitty.
and hide his big old horns.
You do hear a big like cartoon anime style like stomach like from his belly, and he kind of like blushes on his face,
Maybe
which
we
is
should
actually
get
like
some
really apparent because like the red from his blush like
Goes
really
all the way.
really goes up. His ears are like fully red. Says, it's been some time since the gnolls had fed me.
Let's
We should get you some food
let's all
then.
go get dinner.
Yeah.
They're
Um,
pretty good cooks. Not enough worms.
as we kind of walk up, I'm going
Worms.
to just curl a piece of copper around my finger
Okay.
and just to Jamon basically be like, I'm sending a message.
Okay.
Um,
You cast a message.
because I don't know. I don't fucking trust Guido's act at all, so
Okay.
I don't want him to hear what I'm saying, and I'm pretty sure he can speak Draconic, and Jamon can't. So, and only other language I know is Primordial, which I don't think is going to help
Oh
here.
no, yeah, you would definitely not know that.
I was just going to basically inform him that Guido's the one with the bounty, and to just keep an eye on him.
He you see him like take a few steps, and he kind of turns to you and nods.
Just because I want him to be aware.
Yeah.
Oh, V's in the back, kind of where Jumon is, so she's gonna make eye contact with Torn and just kind of like flip a look, kind of where Guido went, and just be like,
Just.
Yeah.
right. So she's. Just
I mean,
like,
I'm watching him anyway because I don't trust this motherfucker. But
but yeah, V.
You see everyone giving each other nods and stares and glances. You see Pahokee kind of like twisting back and forth, like trying to figure out
What is going on?
V's just gonna come up behind Jumon and Pahokee, put one hand on either of their backs, and just kind of give them a little push forward, and so let's go eat. Let's go eat.
I like food.
Heh.
when I say Ka next, I'm gonna give him a big hug.
Ka seems very happy and is like, "Ah." All right, you guys make it back to the like where the stairwell is, and finally follow in the footfalls of where the kobolds had gone upward. As you guys it curves like it leads to a small platform that curves upward to another like a platform that goes up. It's got a few tiers on it, but you finally come out into what looks to be at one point like a nice, very extravagant mansion building has now a fully dilapidated building that's just kind of falling apart with rotted wood and splinters all over the place. You're obviously approaching from where there was once some sort of basement level, but as you kind of come out, there's an icy cool breeze. It's kind of nighttime. It's probably like 7 p.m. by now. But the back of the mansion where it once was. It's kind of gone. It's just sort of like the walls are sort of destroyed. There's like a broken stairwells leading upward. Basically, the front of the mansion is just kind of like falling apart. But you kind of peek through because there's no front doors. There's a large bonfire, and several kobolds are kind of out there right now, as well as a large giant wolf, like a huge wolf out there, as well as a giant hyena and a bunch of little hyenas kind of like strolling about. You also spot one gnoll kind of like petting the giant hyena, and then the two bound people like kind of near the bonfire. You see Sanaz and Vizian kind of bound, as well as a few other kobolds kind of in a cage behind them. Skillick is standing near the like bonfire, kind of motioning to people, and then you spot some other familiar faces. Ralg and Lucra are in the audience with everybody. They're standing next to the fireplace, and you also spot Petey.
Both of us are immediately like,
Petey is also there. As
Wait,
well
which
as
one's
two
Ralg?
other.
Fucking Petey.
Ralg is the orc lady.
Yeah, the orc lady who's like the town
oh
guard.
wow, this is page 1 notes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Petey's
fucking
there.
Petey's there.
So Petey's there.
Oh, Lucra is the mayor.
Yep,
That's
Lucra's the mayor.
Winkeep.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
Mayor
she's the
Winkeep's
halfling
name.
woman.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You see them conversing with Skillick as he seems to be trying to explain things. You do spot the drow woman kind of standing by several kobolds who are like standing in front of the dragon eggs, the two dragon eggs, as if like to sort of shield them, but are doing kind of a terrible job. You know? Hey, baby! Our cat! Hi!
She just wants
I'm
to
standing up and like petting her right now. As you guys emerge from it, you see Joxy and Broxy kind of like announce your arrival, being kind of the ones in front. They're like, "They are here! The heroes!" And they kind of like rush over. Also, the smell and like nice radiant like aroma of like food being cooked can be is heavily noted. As you guys venture outward, you spot yourself in a large like kind of like a field area where kind of like a it's part of the inner court of a walled mansion. It's all like again overgrown, dilapidated. Wow, my cat is just chirping up a storm over here.
Crap eggy.
Hi, baby. Hi.
So we're kind of in like what would have been the inner courtyard.
Yeah,
of
the inner
mansion.
courtyard, yeah.
Okay.
Wherever the stables were, you spot that several hyenas are still there. There is a gnoll with them, and then there's the giant gnoll and the giant wolf. As you guys are announced, the wolf kind of steps forward and transforms into Marzello, and he kind of
Hey!
he kind of gives you guys the peace sign. He's like, "Hey, I brought reinforcements."
I give him the hand signal.
Yeah. He sends you another hand sign in Druidic that's like Druid's rule.
Druid's rule!
Hey, glad to see that all of you guys are still alive.
Yeah.
As Marzello speaks up, Lucra kind of turns and smiles, and Ralg as well. They kind of all kind of like rush over towards you guys. As Lucra kind of goes, "You did it! You finally did it! You've saved our town, and also Petey has agreed to pay taxes."
Woo!
Petey
I'm happy for you.
V's gonna come up behind and just be like, I feel like Petey paying taxes might be the greatest win.
She kind of leans in on you and says, "You won't even understand. You know the property lines go all the way out to the swamp hag mother. Like, it goes all the way out there. He's in our district. You're in the county, Petey!"
That's right. I have
He's
a cousin
already
that-
agreed to pay. Let's not restart an argument.
My uncle.
She pulls out her like pocket watch and flicks it a few times at him. Ralg kind of picks up the mayor a little bit. She's had a few shots of whiskey already. It was quite the battle you all missed out on.
Yes. How did things go up here? And also, who's the gnoll?
Oh, that's He kind of looks around, kind of like motions towards one of the kobolds, and one of the kobolds kind of trunts up and kind of whispers, like, mumbles something into his ear. Just, Gore Tamer. That's Gore Tamer.
Gore Tamer.
Is he the Beastmaster?
Yeah.
The little Beastmaster?
Yeah, he takes care of the hyenas. Apparently, a big pack of them came rushing out during the battle. Several of them just nipping at a bunch of those kobolds. So Gore Tamer saw this opportunity, released Nas, which is the big one, points at the big one, and they helped us a little bit turn the tide against Vizian's boys. You guys spot that there's a pile of like dead kobolds, like dead kobolds and gnolls kind of being pushed into a area being burned. Several of the kobolds tending to them are wearing masks, and they go. And they kind of shake their head, and they start they're pushing the pile,
pushing the corpse pile.
Just shoveling it into the
My buddies helped. Also,
I was like,
horrifying.
I was like, well, hey, you know what? I guess Gortamer can talk to them.
Yeah, Gortamer seems to be nuzzling the giant hyena Nas. How did it go down there? We heard something happened.
Well, we got Sanaz after she body jumped a few times. Turns out she can do that. Don't kill her, or she'll jump into a dead body.
Don't kill Sanaz.
Don't
Slightly never bound.
don't kill her, and make sure she has no access to corpses.
Unfortunately, there was one of the dragon eggs had hatched, and they had corrupted it.
He kind of leans with dragon eggs. What?
The eggs, the things we recovered, the rocks. We found shiny rocks.
Yeah, you see.
I'm sorry, realizing I might have
swiftly
to-
as the
probably should
words
not talk
dragon
about
egg kind
this.
of leaves his voice, the drow woman is standing next to Marzel and goes, "Hi, have we met?" And Marzel kind of gets pulled to the side. Lucra kind of looks at you awkwardly, and Rald's eyes are wide open.
Sorry.
It's been a long day.
Sorry, his comment is still a little bit iffy. He hasn't spoken it for very long.
What is What is the word for? I'm gonna talk to Via Draconic to try and sell this.
Yeah.
Be like, what is the word for? Just tell him I'm trying to say obsidian or something.
Oh, he's trying to convey. It's so we don't have a word for it in common.
Because they're black eggs, right?
Yeah, they call them
This
dragon
is out of
eggs,
character.
but
Black eggs.
they're black
Okay.
eggs.
Yeah, it's so. It's a difficult concept to translate, but basically there's a type of obsidian that forms in the shape of dragon eggs. There are these oblong, the typically egg shaped. Sometimes they're more cylindrical. Anyway, it's
I'll have you guys make a
How long are you gonna make her talk?
Make a deception check, please.
Right, she's just
Together or one
Together.
person
Let's
with
have you
advantage?
all do
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Shit.
Hoagie, you're in too. I don't know why you're in, but you're in.
In it to win it. Pahokee rolled a 3.
Deception is which one?
Deception.
Deception.
Oh,
is
there's-
charisma.
Haha! Natural 19.
All right.
I
Plus
got
4, so I got a 23.
I got
And
6.
I got a 21.
Hey.
Basically, you guys kind of fumble your way through. You're like, no eggs. And
He
Marzel's
just goes on this long-winded explanation of why it's hard to translate what Tora was trying to say, and they just tune out.
yeah. So basically, you guys kind of fumble out. Pahokie's in the background just dancing, just like,
Yeah. Thumbs up. What they said. It's right. There's no egg. No eggs.
V goes on
For
this
sure.
complicated.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's hard to translate. Basically, what it comes down to is it's a type of volcanic rock formation, and they're just stopped listening.
So Petey steps forward and says, "We've had a lot of whiskey, so I'm glad you're okay."
We're wonderful, thank you. I was trying to say
V's just gonna reach down and grab the whiskey, just shot.
we had to fight a creature down there along with Sanaz, but it went well. We're here. We're good. Yes.
Lucra, kind of goes, she's kind of she's being kind of held by Ralg, and she kind of pulls her head out and says, "I can count on your votes during the next election, right?
We don't live in your area, dear.
That's okay. Mail-in ballots."
If you can find our address in time for your vote, sure.
You will need to be registered in the county, however.
Okay. Torrid's gonna look toward
I don't have
Vessus.
a permanent
Is her name
address.
Vessus?
Vessus, yeah. Vessus is kind of
And just kind of make a sorry
she
gesture.
kind of
and-
looks at you guys and goes, "The hell, man."
I'm sorry.
He's like, I tried!
So Lucra kind of frees herself and says, "Oh yes. It is my duty as mayor and ornated one to declare your victory." She kind of she looks around, finds a plank of wood that's just kind of fallen off the mansion, and hits one of the walls to kind of make a a banging sound.
Just gonna smack us.
Several kobolds kind of turn to face and says, "It is I, Mayor Lucra Windkeep, Mayor of Ravencrest Hills, county to the west, actually out of jurisdiction. However, for the time being, we did originally sell this deed land. It was once part of Ravencrest County was no longer, but I'm going to still make the announcement. Thanks to the heroic acts of these three and their company, she kind of turns and says, What's your group called? What's your company name? Every adventuring troop has a band name, a group name, a society's.
We have not discussed this at all.
Oh.
Dragon Warriors!
She turns around, the undiscussed Dragon Warriors!
Yay!
We're the undiscussed!
Dragon Warriors! Which I'm sure you will hear greater of their deeds as time does go.
What?
Pete crew.
Because we
Pete's. No, it's terrible.
She kind of turns around and says,
What?
Pending revisions.
Yeah, sorry, we've not discussed that at all.
I will be proud to announce that the open bounty to fix the howling of the valley has been fulfilled, and we can joyously pay our wonderful heroes right now. She kind of steps forward. Please, a word, a speech.
You're the talker.
Torin talks more than I do.
Oh, that's fair.
But that is her thing. She's a bard.
You kind of step forward.
More
Several
of a bard
kobolds have
insults.
kind of come up, and the kobolds are like looking at you all like expectantly.
Well, we were just happy to do a service for you good people and make it so that you could see that there were some kobolds here that didn't actually mean you any harm, and we're happy to have helped the issue here.
V's gonna step up and be like, "Yes, it was our honor to assist you, good neighbors. Get along with your newest good neighbors," and pointing at the kobolds.
As you say, good neighbors, like the two other halflings in the audience like clap. It's like really kind of like quiet because there's only two of them.
Yeah, but still, get along with your newest good neighbors. Hopefully, you all can take this moment to appreciate each other's similarities and differences, and potentially get along in the future.
There's a little bit of a cheer. They're like, kobolds! Dragons rule!
Torin's done. He's like,
Wall kind of like steps forward and like claps his excellent speech.
I don't.
Yay!
V, the thing is, V should be good at that, but I'm not.
No, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. It was perfect. I wanted it to be kind of awkward for you.
Torin's like what passes for blushing, which is some of the scales here get a darker blue.
Yeah.
And V's just like,
Luke kind of steps up and says, "And now I shall hand out the commission." She hands you a sack of gold. And goes up and hands you a little sack of gold. Hands you a sack of gold. And kind of pulls out like a big iron kind of trophy. Like it's not like a trophy, but it's like an iron coin that is embroidered with embossed with your names on it. And presenting the big trophy thing.
Yeah.
Kind of hands it to you. It's just an iron disc with your names on it.
Is it heavy?
It's like 4 pounds. It's like 4 pounds.
Okay.
It's.
What do we do with this? Thank you. Yes.
Thank you all for attending the ceremony. And now we shall let them rest. Go
Yes,
on,
please.
rest.
I'm still at half health.
and V's like, I'm going to go eat.
Yeah.
Food would be much appreciated.
Yes.
Oh yes. Come. As you guys cross by, you see Vizian and Skillet kind of like staring at you, kind of staring knives in your direction. Vizian kind of like sort of chuckling a little bit, and Sanaz is sort of laying back, having what looks like a good time. She seems to be enjoying herself, just sort of laughing like silently. She's just bound. She's just like.
V's gonna kick a rocket back both their heads as she walks past.
Bahoki's definitely just gonna be like,
She's just gonna poink, and just kind of bounce a little rock off the back of each of
Torres
their
is
heads.
not even looking at them.
Oh.
waving and walking by. I'm hungry, dude.
Yeah.
She's just gonna like bap them with the rocks before she walks around them, just like. Not me.
Sorry.
You guys find you guys find that the kobolds have put out like a decent spread. There's like meats and fruits and stuff like that. There's also a lot of bottles of Petey's like whiskey everywhere. It seems to be the only drink they have.
Haven't gotten
Yeah.
through my pilfered one yet. This is perfect.
Skillet kind of like greets you all and says, You did good out there. All of you. Despite everything. He kind of like looks down at Ka and kind of like frowns a little bit and sort of kneels down and says, "If you want to go with them, you may. You are free to choose, little one." Kind of stands back up and kind of nods. Vessis would like to speak with you. She's eager to continue her journey, and she would like to, if you don't mind, sitting and eating with her.
Sure, we would
kind of
be honored.
nods. Yeah. You see, Vessis is kind of just leaning on a barrel, kind of like near, kind of like the hyenas. It's kind of where, like, so where there would have been like a sort of makeshift stable that's kind of run down. It's where like the hyenas are being held, and that's also where they have the eggs.
Okay.
So Vessis is sort of sitting there. You see that she is with a sort of like contingent of her guard, like some kobolds, but these kobolds look a little bit different than the other ones. These ones are a little bit more muscular. They seem to have like gear on them, a little finer. Like
They're not
ornaments.
naked.
Yeah. And she's with about 2 or 3 of them, you'd say, but she's kind of sitting there, kind of like slurping down some soup, kind of like motions and waves to y'all.
Okay. Going to head over and politely indicate if I can sit, I guess.
Says, yeah, of course. I'm not queen yet. She kind of
Not
slurps down on the ground with all of you all, kind of sprout out a little bit. She really likes her like drow form.
Yeah.
So you all did really good, very good.
We were glad we could help.
Yeah. She kind of looks around. You get the sense that Vessis is not very good with speaking, so she doesn't chat with people very often. Trinkets. Yeah, that's how we show appreciation. She sort of reaches into her pouch and pulls out like a few items for you. She says, I know this will come as strange, but take this ring. It's a ring of spell storing.
Ooh.
It will contain a magical spell of your choosing, allowing you to unleash it at another time. Just whatever spell you can cast into it. She kind of looks at you for a moment. Says,
Ring of spell storage. Okay.
she pulls out a sitar. This I found in the old archives. The first archive, really. It is an ancient instrument of the Kalia. It once belonged to someone.
And she's just gonna pick it up and be like,
Yes. So you have the instrument of the bard sitar.
instrument of the bard sitar.
I will explain what that is later. It's basically like a wand that it's basically an instrument that lets you play, lets you cast several spells.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she's gonna sit there and immediately start tuning it.
Yeah. Okay. As you begin to kind of fiddle with it, you realize that it's almost perfectly tuned already.
Yeah.
But it looks ancient and is covered in kind of a layer of dust.
Yeah. So she's just immediately gonna start fixing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And it's just sitting there,
kinda
like starting to.
nods awkwardly, and she kind of approaches you, Pahokee, and hands you a wooden disc.
Oh.
Says, This is a disc, an emblem of the claws of the longest winter. You kind of snatch it from her hand.
See, I can probably buy a lot of worms with this one.
Yes. No. It causes your claws to deal cold damage.
Oh.
Icy attacks. It's basically, while wearing the gloves, you deal an extra 1d6 cold damage to any target hit by your unarmed strikes and natural weapons. And such attacks are considered magical.
I see.
So basically, it's like an enhancement to your, like, bear form. Or whatever form.
Okay.
So just write, for now, write Claws of Longest Winter.
Perfect.
And,
We're not near any. Damn it. I was trying to think of a thing I could do, but we're not near any sand of any kind.
She approaches
Strike
Ka,
or something.
who kind of like steps up, and Ka looks really nervous. And Ka always looks kind of nervous, but he looks super nervous. He says, It's okay, it's okay. She kind of leans down a little bit and kind of like motions for the kobold to approach, and the kobold kind of like comes forward. She's, let me see your eyes. She puts her like she puts like 2 fingers on the top of the temples of the eye and like 1 on the bottom. She's, kobolds have a weakness to light, and it can be quite devastating for kobolds that travel out throughout the day. And so for that, I'll give you this. And she kind of blows gently, and you feel like like kind of a plume of ethereal energy kind of like dance outward from her breath, and it kind of like captures the eyes of like Ka, and you suddenly see kind of like there was a sort of a haziness to his eyes, and it kind of fades away and becomes more clear, and you see sort of like a green emerald ring kind of like sort of softly placing itself like just naturally into his like melding itself naturally into his eye color. Ka no longer has daylight sensitivity. He can now see in normal light and everything like that. So, and so the kobold kind of like nods and then kneels, and then she offers him like a black scale, and he takes it and puts it onto his chest, and kind of stands up, and kind of looks to the 3 of you and says, "Do not let any harm come to him. He is now a dragonbound."
Aww.
And Ka kind of like stands like proudly a little bit, puts his chest out a little bit. He's not any bigger, but he feels bigger. Yeah.
Aww.
And so she kind of steps back and says, "Again, thank you for what you've done rescuing what siblings you could. For me, the hunt continues. I must at least know what happened to the other eggs."
Do you have any idea where to even start looking?
She kind of shakes her head and says, "The only thing I know is that they are out there somewhere, and that they were exposed to some dark power, and I will do what I can to recover them." She kind of stands up a little bit, and like, "Our paths may cross again, it may not, but either way, I am quite thankful. Skillick may have other information that you desire or whatnot, but for now, I must tend to these and get these out of the prying eyes of..." She kind of motions towards all of the non-kobolds.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah, yes. Any questions before I depart?
Yes, can I ask you, have you ever heard of Tarna Volcaris?
Of course I've heard of the Vocaris, but he's an ancient one. Been around for quite some time. But I'm surprised you don't know of Lord Takaris.
Lord Takaris?
He's your ambassador, if you will. The current Blue King.
Does Torin know any of this?
No. And she kind of notes the kind of confusion on your face. She says, "That makes sense. You're not from Yenzamat."
No, I'm from Drakmor.
How old are you?
16. I'm just past my majority.
15 years ago, Lord Takaris banned all of his blue dragonflight and forced them to live down in the South Realms. You would have been born in Yenzamat. And you have no memories of this?
No.
She kind of like stands up a little bit. You see her eyes kind of perk with curiosity. She kind of approaches. She sees your bauble, and you see like she blinks once, and it's like the drow eyes, and then she blinks again, it's those dragon eyes, and you see them. They're very intimidating up close, and even without you guys seeing it directly, you each feel like the draconic presence is kind of like wafting out, and like sort of like a pressure almost is kind of like engulfing you. She kind of looks at you, kind of her eyes narrow onto the jewelry, and says, "And you're not from Yenzamat?" She blinks again, and the kind of the normal drow eyes kind of like come back. You know, blue dragons were known for their crafts of jewelry. Drew blue dragon born.
So my clan does make we work with bronze and
Yes.
make trinkets. I kind of point to my jacket because I have a couple baubles also on the coat.
Yes.
We've learned to do leather working, and we work with bronze.
She kind of looks at your... May I?
Yes, please.
She kind of like glides her fingers across like some of your like clothing. Says, "This was made by Yenzamoth Master Craftsmans. It's a good quality. You should be wary of where it came from if you do not know." She kind of steps back.
Is it... Tori has no idea what to say to this. He's like, what?
Isn't the leather like from your hometown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we... But so's the jewelry.
Yeah.
Like, we make that
Yeah.
in his clan, and he's never heard any of this
Yeah.
before. Hold on. King of the Blue. I'm gonna ask
She-
more for that, for what she said.
She
Is
does
it-
mention one thing. She says, "Listen, I do not mean to speak ill of other calamities, but Lord Takaris is a particular individual. You'd best be wary of those loyal to him."
I will remember that. Does he have a I kind of point toward the charm on my horn. Does he have a symbol I could keep an eye out for, or...
She kind of suddenly you kind of get a little bit of a look of embarrassment on her face. She says, I may be princess, but I don't often attend the dragon councils.
That's fair.
It's a new post for me, if you will.
I don't know Lord Takaris. I only know I know Tarna Vokaris because we refer to him as grandfather.
Yes, Tarna Vokaris is your great elder worm.
Yes.
I know them. She she kind of leans down to
Thank
you
you.
and goes, "Worm," and then does like the wing flap.
Virim. Well, thank you for the warning.
Yes. Be mindful. He is also mistrusting of most Blue Dragonborn. Takaris is... Lord Takaris, she sighs, is a bit of an old world dragon.
Okay. He has no idea what else to say, so just kind of like...
V is just like she's tying the guitar to her backpack, but she's just listening.
Yeah,
And
you're
like
whoa.
she was just like, "Ooh, this is so much information right now." But she's like just tying this guitar
Well,
to her
Torrance
back.
going through like all of his childhood memories, being like, "Who the fuck were my parents?"
She's just like error 404.
I
Right, and V's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna write this down later."
She kind of steps back a little bit. Do you have any other questions before I must depart? I'll impart what knowledge I can share, but I am eager to get these eggs to safety.
know. Understandably, absolutely.
She motions to you.
Important.
Anything?
V just wants to know stories. So. And she's like,
He's
"Well,
like,
she's talking
Skillick
about
has stories.
What?
She's motion. Skillick has stories. He's been around for quite some time. Anything you require of me, fondling?
Close. I'm not sure. I'm really tired and I want food and worms. And I'm not sure. There was a lot of fire and demons and haunted paintings.
Haunted paintings.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm just overall confused.
She kind of leans down and says,
Pokey just sort of goes.
Listen,
It was a hard
this-
week for Pokey.
this might not help you, but as a dragon of the swamp, I can offer you these. She hands you a bag of worms.
This will do.
She nods. And you see the dragon kind of step back. The three kobolds that are with her kind of hop into some sort of like formation behind her. And she kind of like smiles and goes, "Shh." And you guys suddenly feel a sudden darkness just spills out into the area. And like in a flash, you just hear like the whoosh of giant dragon wings. And poof, they're gone. Just like a sudden upcurrent. And
Yeah, there's something weird about that lady.
the fire like returns and everyone kind of like looks around.
Weird about that lady.
So her, the three kobolds, and the two dragon eggs are gone now.
I was like, that was less than subtle.
Well,
Are you alright over there, Torin?
Oh, I'm fine. You I have some questions for my parents.
Ah! Yes. Suppose we all do, in some ways.
True.
Yeah. By the way,
But I
since
have
you've
a
seen a
specific question.
giant hyena, that's on the list now.
Oh my god, I can be a giant. Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. I have seen a giant hyena. I need to circle it.
Alright, so you guys go rejoin the greater party, kind of around the great bonfire. You sort of eat, you're kind of like just hanging out, chilling with people. It's a very pleasant evening. It's very nice, very fun.
I have worms in a fire, and now I can be a hyena.
And now I can be a giant hyena. Several of the hyenas that you've seen before kind of like trot up to you and kind of like you sort of recognize them from the cages.
Aw.
They seem pretty excited. The gnoll that's with them, Gore Tamer, kind of like does clicking noises with his mouth, and they kind of like follow his command.
Oh, adorable. I look around and I'm like, wait a second. Whoosh, whoosh. And it's like, Pokey definitely feels some more power now that, and knowing that they can turn into things like definitely can turn into a hyena. Pretty sure I can turn into a snake. Who's the closest person to me?
You see Joxy walking by.
Joxy!
She says, "Ah!"
Are my horns bigger?
Joxy approaches,
I run
pulls
over.
out pulls out a chicken bone. Kind of goes. He kind of uses the chicken bone to kind of measure your horn length, and Joxy goes, "I don't know what it was before."
Shit!
At least she can track, or he can track it for you now.
Who's the next closest?
You see Boxy walking by because the siblings
Broxy.
were usually together.
Okay, well, I now headbutt Broxy.
Why? She kind of goes. She looks up, kind of like scratches her chin, grabs the bone from Joxy, measures it out, goes, I don't know what it was before.
Can I tell if her horns are bigger?
You're not
I
sure.
figure I see them running around asking every kobold.
I don't think anybody's measured my horns. This isn't nothing.
Yeah. You can't tell because like the kind of ghillie suit kind of style,
Okay.
but they do seem. They look cooler. Like they look more majestic.
I've been powered up by worms, so I have plenty of manic energy to run around and headbutt people until they can tell me if my horns are bigger or not.
You run around. The kobolds seem to be chasing you.
Good! They understand.
Is Emil anywhere near me?
Yeah, Emil has been kind of fluttering around.
Okay.
Several kobolds keep trying to feed Emil.
He doesn't really. That's fine.
Yeah. They're like, yeah. Does it like fruits?
Well, he's a crow. He eats anything.
Yeah. So Emil's doing pretty well.
Okay. I kind of realized I forgot to check where he was.
Let's say it's about like 9 o'clock-ish. It's getting dark. Like, it's dark. The fires are like chill. Like the fires are burning. You spot like Jamon and like kind of just staring at the fire, kind of. Also on occasion
see
glancing
Guido?
at the mansion. Yeah, you see Guido. He's actually kind of standing by himself, sort of in the corner, like near the. So there's a gate on the south end. He's kind of staring out at the gate, and he kind of like is scratching his chin a little bit, kind of in a very. He's like staring like pretty intensely.
At the gate.
Yeah, like the gates are like open,
Yeah.
but like he seems to be staring into the darkness beyond it. Kinda.
Yeah, I was gonna say I walk up and ask what he sees, but I don't have dark vision, so I couldn't see
yeah.
shit.
So you get a little bit of like the kind of like the
Yeah.
dancing like torch lights and whatnot that are in the area. And Guido points down further. Says, "You see nothing in there down there?"
I will pull out my light rock
Okay.
and light it and toss it a little bit.
You toss it. It makes it about to the end of the gate, like where the actual like where the wall ends, rather.
Do I see anything?
Nothing really. It says, Guido's like shakes his head. Says, "No good, eh? Way further down, yeah."
V sees
Three
Guido
guys.
pointing at stuff, and she's gonna come up behind the two of them.
Yeah, you approach and just in time to hear Guido and let's say you get there too.
Why not?
Yeah.
I basically
Guido
just follow people.
kinda-
I'm just like, wee!
Yeah, there's 3 guys, huh? They riding horses or something? Big horses. No good. Guido think maybe trouble coming. Big trouble. Kind of.
Can I see what it is?
No, not quite. It seems to be deep into. So, like, you see outward with your dark vision. Like, you can see outward. There's like a dirt path that kind of leads downward into like because you guys are kind of on the rise.
Yeah.
And it kind of leads softly downward to like kind of an area where it starts to kind of meet with the swamp again, and it's
can
a very
Guido
thick
see this?
forested area that kind of like splits
That's what
off
I'm
deeper
wondering.
and deeper. And
How can Guido see this?
Guido's like, oh, it's no good, yeah. Says, kind of looks back a little bit and kind of stands up and says, maybe we'll get ready for something. Guido doesn't like what's happened. They're coming for him. Kind of points to the kid, and you see like the young boy kind of like staring at the skull. He's just kind of staring at the skull in the, like next to the bonfire.
I'm going to kind of like, I'm not leaving or anything, but I'm going to actually I can just use magic.
Use magic.
I can use magic.
Yeah,
I'm a sorcerer. I'm going to pull out my copper wire and kind of twist it around my finger and to Skillick say, I don't know if this actually is anything, but Guido thinks he sees people approaching on horseback.
You see Skillet kind of turn his head. He kind of stands up. He's in the middle of like several of the kobolds, and he kind of like goes by, and you see he kind of pats the shoulder of certain kobolds, and they kind of like, you know, kind of stealthily sort of pick themselves up and kind of follow him. He's got about like maybe 2 or 3 kobolds, including Ka, Broxy, and Joxy in that group.
V's gonna ask Guido, how do you see that? How far away is it?
They be coming up pretty soon, huh? Not good. I see it because, you know, big bounty hunter brain. Big bounty hunter brain. Other bounty hunters, maybe not bounty hunters, but they definitely coming here. Bounties too good to walk away from, yeah?
Can I ask Emil to
Oh,
fly out and
yes,
see if
there
he
we go.
sees
That's what I
anything?
thought you were going to do initially.
Well, I wanted
Yeah.
to alert Skillick first, and then
Okay. So Skilly is making his way over. You also kind of caught the attention of like Merzello and Ralk, who's also kind of like approaching. Emil kind of like fluffs himself up, looks down at the he's kind of still playing with the kobolds, but he kind of like takes flight and kind of goes past down south past the gate.
I'm just gonna
V's gonna start backing up a little bit closer to Juon.
Jamon kind of notices the commotion, sees you approaching, kind of gets up and starts making his way towards like the crowd.
Well, let's all gather in
Yeah.
one spot.
V's heading away from it, so she's just gonna kind of like stop it.
No, I know. I was more like because all the NPCs are coming this way now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hello?
Jamon kind of seemingly senses something too and says, "Oh, excuse me, sorry." Kind of gets past you a little bit and kind of
She's just
trying to
gonna-
get a view.
No, she's just gonna
So
just kind of
who's next to me? That's not Guido.
So you got so Poki's like on your left. Guido is actually kind of standing in front, like the closest towards the gate. The gate's about maybe like 30 feet away.
Yeah, and I'm
and then
probably, like,
by now Ralg is about like within 20 foot of you. Ralg and
Okay.
And,
probably
uh,
15
PD.
feet behind you
I'm
guys.
gonna turn to Pahoki and say, okay, so smack me if anything happens, because I'm not gonna be able to hear you for a second.
Oh. Okay.
And I put my hand on her head, and I'm gonna go into Emil's eyes
so Emil. So
V's
and
just
see if I can see anything.
as Emil is gliding across, you see the tops of several like trees and bushes that sort of obscure the path. But sure enough, maybe like around sort of a little bend, Emil picks up the sounds of heavy hoof falls, like going along a trail. It's several large horses, and then eventually, just peeking out of some of the foliage, you see little hints of light coming from it. Maybe somebody holding torches, like
Maybe
riding on
torchlight.
horseback. Yeah.
Do they seem like they're coming our direction?
They are definitely coming your direction. There's like one road that kind of leads up to the
Okay.
the estate.
while Torrin is in Emil, V's going to be like stopping the kid and just kind of explaining what.
Yeah.
We-
He kind of sighs heavily and says, "No, I know what they're here for." He kind of tries to like gently kind of put your hands down, and he kind of like walks up towards the gate. He kind of is walking just past Pahoki, and he's still behind Guido.
Are there any So there's trees all through here, right?
Yeah. There's like trees covering him up.
Is there anywhere Emil could like swoop down and perch and try to get a closer look at who's riding
absolutely.
up?
Okay, so Emil kind of like kind of motions for certain areas. Like you kind of feel the the influence of the animal, kind of like telling you to kind of like. Telling you how to kind of navigate in a way. This is a weird part where like your minds are like in sync with one another.
Well, because I can see and hear what he's seeing, but I figured I'm just kind of telling him the same thing of like, see if you can safely get to a branch where you can take a closer look, and then he kind of does it. That's kind of what I figured.
So Emil kind of like pushes himself like just under like the initial like canopy area and perches himself on a branch in a safe distance, and sure enough there are 3 armored horses, like large horses, those like
Clydesdale?
Clydesdale size horses, each with full kind of like black plated armor all along it.
Okay.
There are 3 individuals total, each riding a horse. There's a man in front who's kind of like an elderly man. He's got like a dark tan skin. He's got white hair and a big white long beard, wearing he's wearing like a full plate of armor, and strapped to his back is a very long blade, as well as like other equipment strapped to the saddle. He's very old features, but you suspect he's probably not as old as he seems, just from your glancing of it. He is wearing what looks more like practical armor. It's like kind of like a silver tarnished armor, but then the 2 members behind him are full on like black plated, like straight up like very tall riders, wearing wearing very ornate looking, heavily enchanted armor with like that protrudes like spikes and has sort of cruel runic symbols written all along it. From the visors, like so the man in front is not wearing a helmet, but the other 2 are wearing like full coverings, and you don't get a sense of what they look like underneath it, but you do see kind of like glowing, sort of like smoky eyes coming from them, and that is in fact where the light is coming from, is these glowing eyes. The 3 of them seem to be traveling. Other than that, they seem to be obscured with darkness, and they're sort of slowly approaching the
so not in a hurry, but
not in any hurry. And as Emil kind of like spots them, Emil, you get like a kind of like Emil kind of shudders a little bit, like especially when focusing on the 2 like knights in the back, like the 2 armor plated ones in the back.
I'm just kind of like, me too, buddy.
So
okay, so I'm gonna mentally ask him to come back and kind of come out of that.
You could estimate about 15 minutes or so. They'll be there.
Is Jamon near me?
Yeah, Jamon's in front of you actually now.
Yeah,
because you were kind of out and he kind of passed.
So I'm standing next to you because I'm keeping an eye on the kid.
I'm gonna describe what I saw and see if anybody knows what I'm describing, basically.
Yeah. So Guido and Jamon turn around, and Jamon just kind of spits out like, "Hell Knights and a bounty hunter."
Hell Knights. Woo! This day just keeps getting better.
Oh, is that your dad?
He the Jamon kind of like shakes his head, says, "No, not at all.
Oh.
At least, I hope not."
Your mom?
He kind of looks at you, very confused.
Do you know what they're here for you? I'm assuming.
They most certainly are.
Should we be expecting a fight?
Guido kind of takes a step forward and says, "They're not going to try to kill him, if that's what you mean." Jamon kind of like looks around for a moment, panicking, and says, No, they won't fight us if I go with them." He kind of nods and sort of smiles and says, "Trust me, you've done quite enough for me," holding up the skull. He says, "This is all I need for now. I shall return to Velmoth with them."
So these are your adoptive family's personal envoy, to say?
He kind of smiles weakly and says, "I hope it's one of the more kind ones."
Yeah. It's like Corinth.
Well, we got about, I'm assuming, 12 minutes before they get here now.
V has immediately decided that she doesn't like them. And she's doing that thing where the cat, when they're like focused on something, their tail's switching, so her tail is just like...
Are you sure you're comfortable going with them? Because, quite frankly, I'd rather send you with this gentleman, and I point at Guido.
Guido kind of shakes and says, "Guido, take him back to the same place. That's bounty, huh?" No big difference.
V's gonna look at Guido, she goes, Yes, but at the very least, you seem to be a person of some quality.
Oh, yeah. Big quality in Guido!
We at the very least don't think you're going to,
Torn
like,
says
you know,
nothing.
beat the kid or something.
Oh, Guido no violence. No, only violence against bad Guidos.
I am pretty. There were burnt bodies, sir. We haven't figured that one out yet, have we?
Mystery dies with the mystery, huh?
V's just gonna, like...
A few moments later, I'm gonna say the time's passing a little bit, but you guys suddenly kind of feel like a sort of like a
That's no good.
like very heavy feeling,
Loud horse
bassy like calls, and suddenly from the darkness, you can kind of see them as they're kind of coming up the hill. The three knights on horseback are arriving. Jamon kind of turns and like his eyes kind of widen for a second, but then you kind of see a little sigh of relief. But then like the two armor knights approach, and then he kind of like gets back up into like sort of an attentive like.
V's just gonna try and like push him behind her a little bit. Is he taller than me?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so he's not hiding behind me, but at the very least, it's just like.
Guido almost hesitates because he wants to stand in front, but he kind of hesitates and goes, "Oh, it's not worth the bounty." Sorry, kid. He kind of steps back a little bit and kind of slumps down, kind of looking a little disappointed.
Because he's just like, I'm not fighting these guys.
Suddenly, the man without a helmet kind of calls forth and says, "Master Jamon, are you well?"
You know this guy? I'm talking to Jamon.
Jamon says, "He is a friend. His friends, however, are not."
Do we need to be worried about the Hell Knights?
Not if I go willingly. Please, trust me on this. Do not raise your weapons against them. They are quite cruel. Kind of shakily, kind of like gets past. He says, "Belthrin, I'm doing well." Kind of, Belthrin then sort of nods and sort of like holds his hand back to like tell the knights behind him to like stop. When they continue going forward until you see Belthrin sort of spin his body and says, "I said stop! I'll bring the boy!" And the knights kind of like they kind of stiffen up a little bit. One looks at the other. They don't exchange any words or seemingly any real communication, and then they can kind of continue just holding their position. Belthrin sort of hops off of the like his massive horse, and you hear kind of the thump of like the full armor and everything kind of like jingle about him, and he kind of stands up. He's a tall fellow, and he sort of approaches, just holding his hands like palms up, says, "Not gonna hurt the boy. Not gonna hurt him."
I'm honestly not worried about you. I'm worried about your friends back there.
The House Teletho required that part of their ratoon accompany me in the retrieval of
Teletho?
Teletho, yeah.
And that's the house. Yeah, family that.
Kind of like looks up and says, "Jamon, come. And you see Jamon kind of like nod and sort of like trot up, and you see the kind of the old man. Hey, what's up, Zach? You see the old man kind of like examining like the boy. Says, "Yes, you're unhurt, but oh, such terrible clothing. Where'd you get these?" Kind of looks around the boys. Says, "Yes, all the fingers are here." And they kind of have like sort of like cute little moment. Pahokee gives him the big thumbs up. He
Big thumbs up.
kind of nods. And
Give
says,
him big thumbs up.
and he's trying to be quiet, but you guys are like close enough you can kind of hear the exchange.
Right.
And he says, "You know what I gotta do, lad? I gotta take you back to the house, Teletho." You see Jamon kind of nodding and says, I know. Kind of, but sort of leans in and kind of whispers and says, "Did you find what you were looking for?" And you hear Jamon exchange that kind of like, I found.
This is the bodyguard.
Is
I found
this the guard
someone
that helped
else.
him?
Good. All right.
Is his dad?
Kind of he kind of like picks up the lad and sort of like helps him get saddled up into his horse.
I know I keep doing this.
Yeah.
It's becoming a nervous habit. Is twirling the copper wire around my finger.
No, that's really good, man. Sorry, I'm also looking at chat right
good.
now. But
But
that's really cool. We are in the middle of a D&D game, but I will get back to that.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. What's up?
So again, twirling, and this is basically just I have a giant spool of just copper wire, and I twirl a little bit around my finger, and then when I send a message, it just disappears, and then I just wrap
kind of like a
around
little.
for the next
I like to
spell.
think it's like a little wick of like a candle.
Yeah, basically. So I'm taking that, and to Juman, I'll just say, use the tongue when you're safe.
He kind of like he sort of nods.
Veek,
Yeah.
can I hear what he's saying?
I'm not really being quiet.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So V's just gonna like scratch your neck and just kind of tink the chain up a little bit, just to be like,
As he
Quiet
gets
enough,
up
hopefully
on
they
the
don't
saddle,
hear me, but
Yeah.
you would probably hear me.
as he gets the boy up on the saddle, the two other knights start to move forward again, and you see like Belthrin kind of like reach like hastily into his, like the saddle pouch, just pulls out like a little like ornate chest. And says, "Oh, and a reward for the bounty hunters that have provided us our quarry." And the two knights kind of stop in their
Gotcha.
tracks, and they kind of like look at each other again, and kind of do that like sort of silent exchange. And he kind of steps forward with this ornate chest. He kind of sets it onto the ground. He says,
Okay.
opens it up, and it is full of rubies. There's just eight. It's a thin chest, but it's full of rubies. It says, standard payment. Kind of closes the chest. Says, thank you for your services, bounty hunters. The contract has been met. He bows, and he kind of looks at you and kind of mumbles out of under his voice. Says, I'll take care of the boy. You don't need to worry about him.
Well, we definitely need it. When we're
V's just gonna like a little bit like, yes, thank you for your prompt payment.
I'm gonna be like, Guido, I guess you can get rid of that scroll now.
Hey,
He's like, if Gilo gets paid, that's good. He gives a big thumbs up. Better day than I thought. The man kind of slowly sort of retreats back to the horse and just kind of nods at all of you. You see everyone's like pretty tense up front. He hops on the horse. They're like, Jamon's like in the front, and kind of clicks the horse to turn around and kind of slowly goes past the two knights.
Watching the knights.
Yeah. The knight, as they pass, the knights for a moment just kind of keep staring at you, your group, and then eventually one of them kind of clicks their horse back, and they start to slowly turn around, and they basically kind of go down the path. But just as they disappear, you can kind of see Jamon's head kind of poking up, kind of just getting one last look at all of you before they disappear into the night.
I don't feel good about that.
Guido kind of stands up and kind of rubs his head and says, "Oh, the Kobold, they don't tell me the details of job, but Guido no like these kind. So Guido got a lot to do back home, yeah? So maybe Guido gonna take a trip too." He kind of pulls out his spell book and
I'm gonna walk forward before he does to the chest that's on the ground.
give him a handful.
Well, I was gonna take one ruby. I don't really need the whole thing.
Yeah.
But
as you approach, and he's sort of flipping through his spellbook. Says, as you approach, he says, "Oh, Guido, take Guido's share already. Mwah, big fire. Bye bye, friends. Maybe we talk. You find me in Sarkaza. Bye. Love you all." He erupts in fire and is spitting furry flames, and it shoots out upward like a fire, it's basically like a firework. It explodes in 5 directions.
well, that seemed a little much.
Why do I feel
Yeah,
like
that
he
seems-
owes us money?
I'm gonna look at the chest. Is there anything
You
left
open
there?
the chest. A fourth of it is gone. A fourth of the rubies are missing.
That's surprisingly fair of him.
Honestly, I was expecting him to take the whole thing.
Yeah, like I said, surprisingly fair.
How
Yeah.
did he get the rubies without touching the chest?
He also got his spell book back from you.
Well, I gave it
yeah,
to him.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, so.
I was like, remember, I gave him his spellbook.
Yeah.
He's a crafty fellow.
How do you travel by fireball? Maybe that's something I should learn. No, I can't learn from the books.
Yeah, you can't learn from books traditionally. We'll work out some stuff. You see, kind of the crowd kind of go, Ron
like
kind
suddenly
of
going through in his head about if he could figure out how to do something like that. So now he's just in an arcane spiral in his head.
Oh, dang. So you guys have a chest of rubies. There's
Cool.
I'm gonna say there's probably roughly 10 rubies each,
Okay, so we
and
now
each ruby is worth about 100 gold.
Okay, so we have 10 rubies. 1 ruby goes 100 gold.
I going to write 100 gold worth of rubies for mine.
Like they are, like I said, it's a thin chest. Oh, and the chest itself, like the little kind of like jewelry chest he's giving you, is a very nice, ornate looking container. It's probably worth something as well.
Okay.
I think that was 3,000 gold each, right? Basically. 10.
Oh, was it? We didn't even
300.
ask how much.
Oh wait, sorry. I said 3. I meant to say 300 gold each rupee.
Is
Ruby, and you guys get 10 rubies each.
Oh, each ruby is worth 300
yeah,
gold.
300
Oh,
gold.
okay.
That's what
I thought it was.
I think I said it the wrong way.
I heard 100 gold worth of rubies.
No.
Not
yeah.
okay.
Each ruby is worth 300 gold,
300.
and there's 10 of them. Each.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Per
that.
ruby. There's.
The note I wrote is.
I'm going to go
incorrect.
ahead, and while we've got that out, I'm going to go ahead and pull out the chest that I have in my bag.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to open this. I'm going to use Mage Hand to open it,
Okay.
because last time I got shot in the neck.
You
So I'm going to stand to the side of it and use Mage
Point it
Hand to just
point it
kind of
away from the group.
Yeah,
open
just
it
kind
up.
of boink.
There are 5 platinum pieces in that.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
And 2 pearls, each worth 1,000 gold.
I'm keeping those pearls.
Ooh, those are good for you.
Yeah, I'm keeping those pearls.
So that was what was in the chest.
2
I'm
pearls
going to
worth
take-
1,000 gold each.
I'm gonna take the jewelry box I found. I don't remember.
So
where I got
these
it.
pearls are just immaculate. They're perfectly round. They have a very beautiful sheen, and they're like this. Like
how you doing?
even in the flickering light, they are like this beautiful pure white.
Like, I'm good. I'm not doing nothing.
Okay, and then 10 platinum pieces.
Yep, 10 platinum pieces.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna take the jewelry box I have.
Okay.
I don't remember where I got it.
It was like the other jewelry box.
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't write down where I got
There
it.
was
I have the one that I took out of the tent, and I think the
Yeah.
one Maya has was taken off a corpse.
Yeah, no, that was the one that was in the torture chamber.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
that's what
That's
it was.
the torture
Okay,
chamber
I'm
one,
gonna set it down, facing away from the group, and be like, V, would you mind opening that one as well?
Okay. So
Just in case.
there are. Okay, I'm gonna roll for this one because I think this one I wanted to have a random one. So
Okay.
I'm gonna roll for what's in this one. We're gonna roll for it.
Okay.
Oh, I also have a random silver ring too.
Yeah, I think that's just a silver band.
Yeah, I have 2 bronze bands and 1 silver band.
Try to borrow your dice. Yeah, I need a D10.
And then what else do we have? I've got 50 of those triangle gold.
All right. You find 5 spinels, each worth 100 gold.
5
So
spinels.
5 spinels, each worth 100 gold. And you find a peridot worth 500 gold. As
And
well,
I'm sorry, how many spinels? Say that again.
5 spinels.
5 spinels.
So 5 spinels worth 100 gold. A peridot worth 500 gold. And a let me roll for this one too, actually. And 2 tiger's eyes worth 10 gold each. There you go. A lot of gemstones.
Okay. Well, I was like, okay, updating my little thingy here. So I've got 10 platinum pieces.
So I'm just gonna hang on to those gems unless anybody needs something specific.
I don't think so.
Cool. All right. And so Skillet kind of cuts in a little bit after that and says, "Maybe it's time to get a little rest. We've dealt with a lot today, it seems."
Please. Would you happen to have any thing that gets rid of the effects of necromantic magic?
Oh! He kind of smiles and says, "A long night's rest will cure you."
Oh, good. Okay.
That's fine. It's fine.
I don't like that magic.
Clearly,
All right.
evil magic will just
So,
sleep it up.
By the way, is there something?
Hoagie's had a rough week.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
V's
you
gonna
have.
look around and see you need to find an up place to sleep,
Hoagie,
and
do
ends
you
up
like
settling
gems?
on top of the stables.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they have like a
The
stable
stable.
thing.
So she's gonna
You
go ahead
climb
and
up
just
there,
climb the
near a ball.
stables and curl up on the roof.
I'm gonna give Pahokee one of the tiger eye.
Oh.
You receive a nice little tiger eye worth 10 gold.
I'm probably just gonna stuff that straight into a pocket.
Yeah, but I thought you might like it.
Shiny.
V's gonna be sitting up on the roof of the stable, kind of like in her little book, kind of writing down some of the bits from Torn's conversation with the dragon lady.
Perfect.
and
Yeah, yeah.
other
You're,
little
you're
bits.
kind of like writing little notes.
like
and
little
stuff,
notes,
Yeah.
reminder notes. Just be like, okay.
Broxy approaches you, Pahokee,
Hello.
and holds up the Fey Weave armor that you guys had offered her.
Oh,
She says, she kind of hands it back and says, thank you for protection.
yes, you deserved it. I guess, I mean, your job isn't really to be hanging out in scary places most of the time, right?
Broxy kind of like shakes her head. She says, I'm an inventor. I don't fight.
Huh.
Except with this. She pulls out the shiv again.
Okay, I guess I will take it. Thank you.
So you get the +1 leather Fey Weave leather armor.
+1 Fey Weave leather armor. I feel like I need to put that someplace else.
Oh yeah, you'll equip it, and it'll. So Fey Weave grants its bonus to your animal forms as well.
Did I
So
ever figure out what
basically
the
get
random
+1
iron
AC.
key I have went to?
No, you did not.
Oops.
I'll let you guys kind of know, although it's like cleared out now. It was for one of the rooms you guys didn't go into.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I kind of figured. I was like,
fine.
you probably tossed that now.
yeah.
You get a message that it's like this is no longer useful.
I'm just gonna be like,
I mean, you can still keep it though. Still.
no, actually, I'm gonna go to Skillick.
Oh, okay.
And be like, I think there might have been more down there we didn't explore. This was just a key I found. I have a feeling it goes to a room we didn't see, so I don't know if...
Skillet kind of nods and takes
Although
it
I
from
would-
you.
Let Joxy and Broxy know there's a lot of traps down there, so be careful if they're
Oh.
looking for anything.
Those two set up most of the traps down there.
Oh, good. Well, then they might know how to avoid them.
Might.
Might.
V from over on the side just yells, "Watch out for all the hyena shit!"
There's a lie.
He
Like a lie.
Skillet kind of thinks
we
for a
don't
moment.
have
Says,
Guido's
we
book
might just
anymore."
seal out that place. Maybe we'll just seal it and never allow anything in or out.
I don't know. That's what I would go
I
for.
will-
It's weird.
I will leave that to your discretion. I just wanted to let you know that there might be
Thank-
something else down there.
Thank you. Well, I might send a team down. All right. So.
Is that why I'm not just taking a key?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
going,
right.
yeet it into the sun.
Eat that motherfucker.
Marzello kind of like approaches you guys. Says, if you guys want to head on back, just let me know. We can take the shortcuts.
Have we eaten? Did we eat?
I think we ate.
Yeah, you guys are kind of like, you guys have sort of been walking and eating a lot, so you guys have
Okay.
been like grabbing food and going.
Yeah.
So,
Alright,
but
so-
you haven't like sat down.
know-
You guys are astonishingly tired. Y'all haven't sat down in a long time.
You know, Marzello, I would love a bed to sleep in. Can we get back to the inn and all?
He kind of smiles and says, "You bet your booties."
No.
Ah. He
Hoki, are you good with that?
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
V's
Oh,
just
no.
like,
Are
Yeah,
you sure
something-
we can camp out tonight?
V's
I have a
gonna
bedroll.
V's gonna come up and say, "If we're going that way, I just need a minute."
you see Ralg
Yeah,
brings
what-
over a Lucra who's like passed out in her arms, kind of just asleep. And then Ka kind of like comes up and says, "We leaving?"
Oh, Ka. You precious, precious boy.
Hoki grabs Ka by the shoulders.
Don't you think your people need you?
Ka kind of like turns around. You see, and then kind of is unsure. Says, "If you need me, Ka goes with you."
Oh, okay. He can come with us then.
Oh,
Torn was trying really hard not to butt in, but he's like, I really want him to come with us, but it's gotta be his choice.
yeah. Ka kind of smiles and nods.
V's just gonna be like, yeah, give Ka a pat on the back and says, "Welcome to the crew."
Yes.
Name to be
Dragon
determined.
Warriors.
Sure.
Name
I'm
to be
mostly
determined.
concerned because his horns are so small. Are you sure he's ready to leave?
Oh. Yes.
They'll get bigger. I think.
I just
Okay.
kept
I feel very, very like about this. The horns aren't big enough.
Ka kind of like pokes his horns and says, "These are fully grown."
Oh. Okay.
Ka looks worried. They're not big enough?
No, they're fine.
Oh.
They're
He
fine.
looks so confused.
They're great.
Okay. He kind of, is, one more thing. He turns around and, like, trots over to a bunch of the kobolds, and they kind of, like, they have a little group hug. Skillick kind of, pats him on the head, and, they all kind of, like, approach. And says, Skillick, sort of speaking for the rest of the kobolds, is, we'll camp out here for a little bit, but we'll eventually make our way back to Ravencrest just to kind of commute back and forth. But I think the kobolds want to stay. Kind of motions over to Vizian and Sanaz. And kind of goes,
Oh yeah, I forgot about them.
what would you like us to do with them?
Well, Vizian seems to have been your problem longer than he's been ours. I think I'll leave that to your discretion. And Sanaz, the only thing I can say is, if you kill her, she's gonna escape.
Kind of.
Maybe they have means, and I'm gonna... Well, no, she's passed out. Never mind. I guess I'll look at Ralga?
Ralg.
Sorry.
Yeah, Ralg kind of shrugs his magic's over my head.
You're
you know.
gonna look at Marzello then, I guess.
Unnatural magic gives her rebirthing powers, according to you, so...
V's
Sorry,
gonna
man.
go look
Too
at
bad we
Skillick and
couldn't
say,
have struck her
I
through that
don't,
portal.
I don't suppose you have any way to communicate with your queen. Maybe she has a place to,
Contain her?
store her?
Store?
Like a dungeon or a damp cave or somewhere really, really, really hot and unpleasant.
I might know a place, actually. No need to get my queen involved. I'll have the group of us, and I will personally escort her to a facility that owes me a favor. Thank you.
Rehabilitation.
He doesn't say anything, just crosses past you. And Ka kind of stands there and kind of looking like he's kind of got all of his stuff. You see that Ka actually can carry quite a bit on his back. He's got a bunch of, he's got a
Because he's a
huge
beefy
bag.
little boy.
Yeah.
I want to go around to Joxy and Broxy. Those were the only other two. Right?
Yeah, no, that's your main one.
I want to give them a scale each, just as a thank you for helping.
Oh, they gladly take them and they place them somewhere on the siblings each place them on their bottom left jaw. They kind of just go
Yeah, you match.
yeah, and they kind of match. And then they kind of have an uneasy look on each of their faces, and then Joxy kind of nods, and then Broxy's she kind of puffs up a little bit. She steps forward and says, "You take care of Ka!"
Of course, I will do my absolute best.
Yes,
She opens her eyes and says, "Whew, easier than done." Whoa.
I take her to the side though. I'm like, are his horns really fully grown?
Broxy looks over, takes out a bone, measures it out and says, they are growing.
See, maybe, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Should he go on an adventure to grow his horns, or is he not old enough? Pokey sits in a corner and just thinks about it.
I don't know if I have anything to help her with that, because I'm like, oh, my...
It's okay, you don't know my culture.
I don't.
Well, V's
Yeah.
sitting there like, I don't even know how kobolds age.
It's kind of unclear.
She's like, this is the first time I've ever met kobolds. I don't know anything about their aging.
Would I know anything about their aging?
You know they age pretty rapidly. They mature very quickly, usually in about a couple of years, a few years. Maybe 6, they're full adults. But then they also... You've seen old kobolds, but there's not a lot of them because they tend to get themselves into situations.
I'll share the minimal amount of information I have
Yeah, okay.
with V.
They can live a long time.
Although they tend to live a little closer to 6 years. But as you can see, they're not exactly the best at self-preservation.
I see.
We've seen the inventors tend to...
So these kobolds are not unusual, as they...
Oh no, it seemed pretty normal to me.
They seem normal to me too.
Pokey.
I've met potentially... I haven't got the number of kobolds I've met before today on one hand. They're usually very brief interactions.
I used to live with kobolds.
We
had them all over the place.
All over
In
the
the
place.
ceiling, under the floors, wherever they would fit, really. They just kind of lived there. We didn't really give them houses, they just found cubbies.
They found places.
They found places. But they were very helpful with, God, my brain today. Livestock taken care of.
Tending to livestock, yeah.
Helping
Husbandry?
husbandry and helping to keep rats and whatnot out of the houses.
That's an interesting
You-
sort of symbiotic setup.
Like,
Fascinating.
Cause,
You'll have
like-
to tell me more later.
first job was catching rats.
Yes, kobolds are very good at that.
I like rats.
Well, I mean,
We had the...
sorry.
We caught
Yes.
rats.
He
Lots
kind of
of
turns
cops.
around and whistles back
As
to
an adult, though, it's much harder. We
uh,
don't fit.
Joxy, who
That's why they're
approaches
so
you
useful.
and says,
Tiny buddies.
"One more thing." He opens up the little cage, and you see the war skunk kind of come out.
Hello, friend.
The war
The war skunk kind of approaches you, Pahoki, kind of nods, and then kind of climbs onto your back.
Oh, this is good.
You see Broxy kind of like come up and like sort of pet the war skunk, and it sort of transforms into a small ivory like icon of the
Oh.
skunk. Says, he likes you,
I take it.
so you
This
gain.
is disconcerting, but also good.
Yeah. It's a wondrous figurine
Oh.
of the war skunk.
Oh.
So he's just pocket sized for travel purposes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some. I'm gonna explain what that does later for you.
Yeah, because I'm like, I still have to get my instrument
Yeah.
explained to me.
Wondrous
Figurine.
figurine.
Marcello motions like, whenever you guys are ready, we can head on back to town.
Sorry, I just
I
have
suppose
acquired
we
beverage.
can.
You're good.
I will be missing our kobold friends. Wait, which ones are coming? Are they coming or are they go?
Ka's coming with us.
Okay.
The others are going to stay here, I
Are
think.
you sure they're not just gonna show up though?
Honestly, no.
Okay. I'm just gonna operate under the assumption that they're gonna follow us.
But they're
V's
always
just
just
kind
gonna
of-
be showing up.
Kobolds always do what they want.
Alright, V's just knowing that they're going to do the teleporting thing. It's just like doing the tail swishy,
Yeah.
tail swishy thing.
Hold on
Just-
tight. We gotta
This-
drop a
this
P
time
too.
Torrin's actually kind of
Oh,
excited
God.
for it. He's like, this is like, I didn't really pay attention last time, but now I gotta pay
This
attention.
time-
Ethereal
V's-
travel.
V's just standing there, just like,
Emil flutters to your shoulder, by the way.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
I figured
He's
he
just
would
standing
know we
there,
were
tail
leaving.
swishing, just like, alright, let's get this over with.
Ka sort of is waving at all the other kobolds that are all kind of like cheering at
I'm gonna
him.
wave too.
Yeah, and then suddenly you guys are just sucked into a nearby tree and just shot, like very similar to like before. And it's several stops like throughout the swamp. So every so often you'll stop, swing by, you'll see kind of parts of the swamp that you don't really recognize, but you know is the swamp.
Oh, it's
and
like
then it
wearing
slingshots you
1,000
into other
boots.
places. Yeah. And then finally, poof, you end up at the like emerging from an apple tree in Petey's orchard. Petey hops up and goes, "Whoa!"
V's just
and like
She's
tosses
black?
a bottle.
somehow V looks green.
Yeah, there she's
She got black fur, but somehow she's looking kind of green.
green. Yeah.
Torrin's kind of wobbling in place, but is like, oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah. So you feel the like sort of the interdimensional magic, and as it pulls and tugs at you, it very much feels like bits of your essence are just being almost like played like an instrument, like a string instrument. You're kind of like feeling weird vibrations all throughout your body.
Interesting.
And so, woof, 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 and suddenly, whoosh, you guys emerge from one of the larger trees on the southeast end of town. And it feels like it's been a long time since you've seen Ravencrest Hills, but
V
it's sleepy
is
nature.
Immediately going to bucket behind a tree. And
Yeah.
just fucking vomit.
You're just like, whoa! You note that there's hints that other people have vomited in the same spot.
he has a route he takes.
Yeah, right. He's got a very particular.
right. V's just gonna come back from behind the tree. Going, that was not more fun than it was last time.
It's terrible.
But I would say it's effective.
It feels really good to you though. Like you feel a weird tinge because as you are connected to the Fey Wild, it's almost as if like you're like on some sort of like ecstasy or LSD. Like your eyes are just going nuts and you're like absorbing all the information as like nature. It's, yeah, basically you're flying through. And you're like druids, roll.
Stuff.
Think of like when they use like the think of when they use like the Bifrost and they kind of like that sensation of like being shot, slung
yeah.
shot around.
Yeah, V's just
Oh.
like, that's very effective, but.
Woo!
You see Lucra kind of like prop up. She says, well, are we home? Are we back yet? She pulls out her pocket watch and kind of clicks it several times. Take me to my bed. Rog's like, I gotta tend to the mayor, but you guys are wild.
Yay!
Good night.
Yeah. They head off. Basically, you guys say your parting words to some of the other, like 2 other halflings that you were just along for the ride, I guess.
Hi?
You're like, hey! They introduce themselves, but you just as quickly forget their names.
like half asleep.
Yeah.
Like, uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep, that's great.
And some sort of musings later, you find yourselves in the beds that you had rented in the tavern and well on your way to a good night's sleep.
Torin kind of curls like around Emil and just...
V is
out.
going to stop on her way up to the rooms and just get a mead and just take it.
Yeah. As you're taking the mead, you know that Mimi is not there.
Oh.
Mimi is not in town.
Red-headed barley.
Yeah, redheaded bartender.
Yeah. And I couldn't remember what I named her daughter because she didn't originally have a name in my notes.
Little
I
girl, yeah.
remember her as Nancy Drew for some reason.
Yeah.
She was at the books.
Wow, apparently I didn't write it down.
So I wrote down her
I
name
have
as
Lady
Mina.
Mimi, Ghostkind,
Yeah.
and then Haddish is the bartender.
Yeah. So Haddish is there.
It
I
may
think
also
I'm gonna
be
have
at
it. Whatever I said before, I'm gonna retcon it now because her daughter's name's gonna be Mina.
It's
So
now
Mimi and Mina?
Yeah, Mimi and Mina.
Oh, yeah, I didn't write that down.
So
at all.
yeah, we'll go head back and V's going to go grab another pint of that mead from Haddish.
So Haddish kind of welcomes you and says, "Hey, you're back.
And
I heard vomiting outside. Figured Marcelo probably brought you all in.
she's like,
That's a trip.
Yeah.
and she's like, yep, it's an experience.
Your rooms are waiting for you."
Oh, thank you.
He since you guys are kind of like wandering, and I'll just kind of play this out this way. He says, "Sorry, Lady Mimi sends her regards. She heard about the troubles and took her daughter on a little bit of a field trip down to Dragon's Meat.
Dragon's meat.
Yeah, she's safe. Don't you fret. She was just worrying about if this town was going to get invaded by dragons or something." He kind of pours the meat and kind of like slides it over to you.
I'm glad to
V's
hear
just
that
gonna nod
they're
at him.
safe.
Allergical.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I have to sleep.
Yeah, you crawl upstairs and as you're like stepping up the stairs themselves, you feel your legs like really exhausted. The necrotic damage really bearing itself
I'm
on
tired.
your body. Yeah, you slam down into the bed and you just cuddle up with Emil and you are out.
V's gonna be sipping her mead and
Yeah.
writing in her little
Yeah.
notebook.
You spend the evening
A little
much
bit.
of the evening. Yeah, like
Before-
sketching. The tavern's pretty quiet. You know that there's a lot of people might have taken day trips to avoid any like big confrontation in town.
Mm-hmm.
So it is actually a nice quiet time in the tap room. Pahokee, do you want to crawl into bed?
Pahokee is definitely going to find a hole because they want to just be in a tiny hole with their worms and maybe definitely take out that apple whiskey that we stole earlier.
Okay.
Yeah,
You-
V's up on the roof like she was initially.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's up on the roof.
So eventually, somehow you find yourself on the roof, kind of like sprawled out. and,
Well, that's
like,
because
resting.
last
Yeah.
time she just climbed out the window and hopped
Yeah,
up. So,
yeah.
she's up there in her notebook and then just is like, all right.
And Pahokee, you find a nice, comfortable spot, on a little bit of a small like halfling rise.
Mm-hmm.
You find a nice little spot, sort of like a nest already, next to a warm chimney that's sprouting out from the Hobbit style housing that they have.
I see. Is it a familiar style nest to me, or is it just a different kind of nest?
You can make a knowledge nature check. We'll have
right.
some fun with this.
Yeah.
By the way, how much gold did we get each from the mirror?
Oh, she gave
It's 11
500 each.
500.
Oh,
plus
shit.
nature, which is
I got a lot of gold now. 500 each, okay.
11 plus. It's 11.
I know you.
Nature is intelligence.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I keep forgetting.
Pokey is not smart.
I'm gonna give you. You're sure it was some sort of bird.
Okay.
Yeah. So you kind of snuzzle down, but it's a very clean nest.
Yes, good.
Yeah, so
I'm perfectly happy to hang out in a Boyd nest.
all right. You all sleep and rest,
Yay!
and it is wonderful. And you guys feel good
Okay.
until
Oh, the Ring of Spell Storing doesn't need attunement?
no, I don't think so.
Oh.
But it is very powerful, and
Oh,
you
wait.
basically you cast up to a level 5 spell into it, and then you can cast that spell whenever.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
All right, so
Oh god, tell me I did not just remove that from my coin. Oh, sorry.
and with that, we are gonna call it now. So that was the end of chapter 1.
Whee!
Called
Yay!
Solomore's Grave, and then next time we play, we'll be continuing What's the Happenings. Alright, so thank you all for joining me. It was a little bit longer than I anticipated, but that's okay.
I like role playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I really
I like
loved it.
the
I
role
love,
play
like, the
part.
less I talk, the better it is.
Well, and
That's
it's like
my thing.
it always takes me like a little bit to get back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
right.
It
god
just-
damn it. I accidentally took my Ring of Protection out of my
Oh,
inventory.
no!
And now it's not popping up. Crap. Sorry.
No worries. We'll get that fixed in the
Yes,
meantime.
no,
so,
it's really fun.
Alright, so thank you all so much. You guys already got your level up reward. That was going to be the final thing. And then from now on, we're actually going to be playing more with rules. A little bit more. I've been pretty
try.
lenient. Yeah. So I would really recommend everyone take a thumb through like parts of the player's handbook just to kind of get more familiar with some of the more complicated rules. Thank you all so much for joining us. Love you too. It's been wonderful.
Love you, Internet.
Any last
love
words?
you.
Give them out. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yes.
All right. Good night.
Aww.